This is what you all been waiting for. I've gathered the clips throughout the NFL season, plus some brand new, never before seen content, like the episode, Leave Your DraftKings Handle. Tell us your favorite moment from the NFL season, because this is Cust Corner!
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner,
So, Tim, I got you to present us with the exclusive topic here for this version of Cust Corner. What is it?
So I've been playing around with this idea in my mind for a while, and it's still not fully fleshed out. Maybe as we discuss it here together, we can figure it out. But it occurs to me at this time of year, I'm reminded, and it's mostly the fault of millennials, if you want to know the truth.
Of course it is. So it's your fault.
I think that when it comes to driving in the winter, you should have to have some sort of like special qualification or grade on your license that allows you to drive in the snow. So many accidents and bad accidents take place this time of year in winter climates where people are driving in snow who just don't know how to drive or drive safely or competently. So it seems to me when you take driver's ed, or when they're giving driver's ed courses out, part of that should be a requirement that you pass a course for winter driving. That if you don't have it, you should have to have it. You can even have variations on a person's license where you're allowed to drive 9 months of the year or drive all year long, except during snow periods. And you have to have a special qualification to be allowed out that time of year, because there are just so many people who don't know how to drive to the speed, who don't know how to drive to conditions. The car slides a little bit. They have no idea that where you look is where you're going to go, and they panic. And it's a menace. And so I really think something needs to be done to get people credentialed to drive in snow.
Tim wants to treat driving like it's Nazi Germany, walking around with your papers. You can't drive.
You do have to pass tests, and
how do you properly administer a winter driving test?
Well,
you'd be like, hey, here's what we're gonna go. We're gonna go 60 miles per hour on the highway, and we're gonna hit some ice, and we're gonna see what you do.
No, but listen,
I don't get how you.
So
do
there
that.
are like tracks and places where people can go to take a 1 day or 2 day course, where the courses are set up in snow conditions so that people learn how to drive in snowy and in bad conditions.
It's pretty rich that you're the one talking about this, since you're absolutely the worst driver I know.
But I am a good winter driver.
No, you're not. You're a bad overall driver.
I'm a good driver to the conditions, and I don't speed. I don't take chances. I know how to keep distance between myself and the cars in front of me. I use the eye lead technique, so I'm always looking ahead to see what's going on. I'm a very good driver in the snow, and it just seems to me there's always tons of crashes when snowstorms hit. So if you live in a climate where there's snow, there needs to be some sort of training. Of course, we've coddled our millennials and not have to worry about anything, and therefore they haven't learned how to actually deal with adverse
Why do you think this is a millennial problem? So few millennials drive compared to the rest of the population.
Well, maybe in like super big cities, but outside of the metropolises, people who live in the real world are driving all over the place.
I mean, most people live in cities, Tim.
No, most people are now living in suburbs of cities, and that requires driving. And I mean, so I want you. What can be done?
Nothing can be done. We need to get self-driving cars. That's the answer.
No, in fact, I heard somebody make this point previously, and I agree with it, that there should be a constitutional amendment that allows me the right to drive my car. Because not that But
you suck at driving your car.
That a person should be at liberty to drive themselves and move themselves around in their car as they see fit, and that they should not be legally prohibited.
If that's the case, if they need to be able to turn around in their car and drive themselves as they see fit, then what you're saying is unconstitutional.
No, I mean, because driving isn't.
How do you even enforce this? You just pull everyone over during the winter time to see if they have the winter permit?
Well, no, but it's the same way that if somebody has a learner's, they're not allowed to drive after midnight, for example. Well,
yeah, you know what? I had a learner's for 2 years before I got my full license. You know who never drove after midnight? Not me. I was always out at like 2 a.m.
Okay, but like,
had I have been caught, sure, there would have been repercussions. But no, this is stupid.
So your solution is to this epidemic of bad winter driving is just to shrug your shoulders and say, well, there's nothing to be done about this.
Well, I don't
not-
understand what there is to be done. I mean, you've been to driving school and you fucking suck at driving. So what does that tell us about driving school?
They put you through a 1 or 2 day course where you have to learn.
Yeah,
to
you've
drive.
been through a 1 or 2 day course. You're still bad at it. What's
No,
next?
Again, you just keep attacking me.
I did,
instead
but
of attacking you.
I don't understand what you think is going to happen here. So it's
learn
like
some
you
important
haven't
skills.
passed. What if you can't afford the course?
Pardon me? Well, but what if you can't afford driver's ed?
Then
What if you can't afford to buy
don't,
your
You
driver's
don't
license?
need to take driver's ed in order to get your license.
I think you pretty much have to
No,
now, and you still have to pay to get your driver's license.
Jeff, you're shaking your head. You weigh in on this. You're because I'm from a not rural area, but a suburb area like Tim is. You're from the city.
And you guys have to drive in snow. It's no different for y'all than it is.
I would wager that the people in this city are the single worst drivers in the country.
His idea just seems unfeasible.
I know, it makes no sense.
Like, in theory, I'm not gonna, it's nice if everyone was safer, a safer driver, but I don't know. It just seems like he's wasted more bureaucracy.
Yeah, well, now that he's in the government, he needs to make more bureaucracy.
No, but there should be a part of your training before you get your full driver's license for you to prove that you can handle yourself in winter driving, because that's when the rubber, to use a pun, but that's when the rubber meets the road.
No, okay. So you know what would be more beneficial than forcing people to go to a class in order to make them better at winter driving is mandate that everyone needs to have winter tires on their car.
I support that in a winter climate.
But a lot of people can't just afford winter tires. Now you're buying
driving is not a right. You didn't get your car for free. Your gasoline isn't free. Maintenance isn't free. Driving a car costs money. There are just costs associated with it.
But now you're mandating that people have to spend $1,000 to get winter tires. That doesn't seem very of the people, Tim. I'm not going to lie to you.
Cars aren't cheap. Maintaining cars aren't cheap.
Exactly. And now you're adding on even more expense to that.
Because the safety factor in this case is worth it.
I think that there is too much variance in winter driving to begin with to really be able to prepare yourself. Like, I've been in one accident in my life, and it was in winter. I hit black ice and just slid across 3 lanes when I tried to put on my brakes.
Right.
What was I supposed to do in that situation?
So let's say it's my day to go take my test, and it's a beautiful winter day. Is my appointment canceled?
No, but I'm thinking of, like, there are courses where they set up and that they're ready to accommodate and train people. Doesn't matter, as long as it's wintertime, they will have snow there.
So we need a snow machine at this place now. We need to build a whole new facility in every single place across the country. This sounds very expensive.
The only thing that's feasible is driver's ed is mandatory.
But even that's a cost too.
I know, but I'm
now
saying
we're forcing
within driver's ed, because I took driver's ed.
I took driver's ed as well.
And winter driving came up. I don't know that it was more like classroom.
I did mine in the wintertime. I did mine from like February to April. So that would have been a part of it, but it wasn't like especially snowy that year as I recall.
But I would just think, I don't know. But like, it's hard to be against people being safer. So
but I don't think that any of this stuff would actually make you any safer.
So then what would? If I'm wrong, that's why I said this is not fully fleshed out. What can we do to improve, particularly people in the wintertime? How do we improve driving skills? Because
self-driving cars.
Well, like, but
but self-driving cars don't actually work until everyone has a self-driving car. Because then what do you want? Do you want to be safer or do you want to have your liberty? You can't have it both ways. I'm telling you what would be safer, and now you're telling the people that they need to go to re-education centers in order to learn how to drive in the winter, which won't actually help.
Wouldn't it be safer to get the worst driver you know out of controlling his automobile?
That is a pretty savvy point.
I'm not against self-driving cars, but I'm against people being forced to have
But they don't. I don't think that self-driving cars can actually work unless everyone has them, because then you add your U's into the formation and you suck at driving, and now you're throwing off the whole grid.
Great. So we're just going to turn our whole lives over to AI. I mean, someone tweeted the story. Now, this may be fake news, so I may be...
It was, yeah. That the sentient robots killed people? Yeah, that wasn't real, Tim.
Okay, but you see those videos.
But I saw a movie once.
Well, okay, but I also premise it by saying this may be fake news. So even I was aware this may not be true.
Okay, no, hold on. You're establishing it as this could be fake news. We will tell you that it wasn't real, but you're going to rail on it anyway.
No, because you do.
You should really be on Fox News, just like when they were getting upset that
videos of like those.
It's gingerbread man, Tim, not gingerbread people.
But you do see those videos of like the Boston, like MIT, where they have like the robots that can do crazy things and like open doors and stuff. I'm like, why are we creating this stuff? There is no benefit. There need to actually be laws in place.
He doesn't think
prevent
there's a
this sort of
benefit to Amazon, so why would he think that there'd be a benefit?
I'm
Like,
not- there may be some
I get why
benefit.
things scare him because he's afraid
Everything
of Amazon.
scares him. We've established on our like timeline with Tim that he's afraid to leave his house. So yes, of course this scares him.
It should be scary to everybody
Why?
because it's removing human agency and replacing it with like computers and robots and an artificial intelligence having too much control over our lives, and I think that's very dangerous. So no, I'm not in favor of a world of self-driving cars. First, because then it could be easy enough for the state to note and log where you're driving and where you're driving to. A system can be hacked. I think that's a real risk for privacy breaches.
If you don't think the state can find you within seconds right now in your everyday life, you've lost it.
Sure,
You own a cell phone.
Right, but I don't bring my cell phone everywhere I go.
When do you not have your cell phone on you?
Like if I'm just going like on Sunday mornings, if I'm just going to the gas station to get Pro Lines, I'm not bringing my phone with me.
Yeah, you are. You definitely are. Because you'd be too afraid that something would happen, then you wouldn't be able to call 911.
No.
No, that is
Your I'm just
fake
making
news.
a short little trip. I'm just making a short little trip.
No, it's in your pocket.
No.
Because sometimes I'm charging it, and I don't want to uncharge it to bring it with me. I'd rather just let it keep charging.
Oh, he also doesn't know about car chargers, right?
No, well, because the thing you would use for the car charger, I'm using as a cigarette lighter.
You can also there's other things that you can get as well to have a portable car charger.
Well, I don't have one of those things.
How old is your car that you have a cigarette lighter? Do they even come with cigarette lighters anymore?
Not only does it have a lighter, it has multiple ashtrays in it.
Mine came with I got a new car. It came with like a USB portal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It didn't come with a lighter. I asked them if I could get a lighter. They're like, no.
My grandfather
we don't do that anymore.
He had one of these big old Buicks that had 3 cigarette lighters in the back seat.
Oh my
and 2 in the front.
That
it was crazy.
My grandfather bought what the hell was it? It wasn't a Malibu. It was a Cadillac something. I forget what it was called. But he bought it in Florida.
Cooperville?
No, it was from the 70s, but he bought it in Florida one year when they were away and drove it back up, and then he sold it up here. And it had a cigarette lighter at every seat on like the armrest. Like in the back seat.
Did it have the reverse facing seats?
No, I don't think so, no.
Yeah, there's tons of ashtrays and lighters in those old cars. Those are pretty cool.
It was outrageous. You got anything else for us?
Well, I mean, another part was about this concern I have with AI, and that I'm afraid it's going to take over our lives. And we're watching it happen, and no one is lifting a hand to do anything. No one's trying to prevent in any way all these dangerous, like Black Mirror
like everything.
But like we're doing nothing to stop it.
What do people do? Like, I don't know, like climate change. Like people aren't really. I'm just saying, I don't know. Everything's getting.
It's in our control to stop creating these robots that I don't understand why they need to exist. And it certainly hasn't been explained to me or the general public well enough. We've got incredibly brilliant people at top tier universities and centers building these machines that could,
But you don't even understand why like a toaster oven exists.
Yes, I do.
Again,
don't turn this on me.
You're scared of everything. You won't leave your house. Of course, this stuff bothers you. I like the idea of AI.
I'm not like the guy from Seven, the glutton, who's like a shut-in.
No, you're more like that agoraphobic guy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But listen, if we can teach the robots to do all the work for us, then we don't have to do all the work that we don't like to do.
Well, yeah, okay, but what is the consequence of that? Is the risk of creating a society in which these robots could like overpower us, where we would.
Tim, I think you've seen too many movies.
I think he's been to Itchy and Scratchy Land one too many times.
Tim has just binge watched Westworld, so he's really terrified of the robots.
I actually had to stop watching Westworld because I was getting terrified. The second season, I had to pull the plug on the second season. I was like, this is getting too real, and I don't need this.
You just really need to reevaluate your life and stop being scared of it. People try to find out, like, they wonder, like, people on the left wonder how people can watch Fox News. And the Fox News demographic is the Tim demographic. It's people that are just scared of everything. And all they do is just scare you more. So you can't stop
Well, their
watching.
demographic is the majority of people. Like, they're always the top-rated network.
Well, that doesn't mean they're the majority of people, Tim.
No,
There's not two networks.
No, I'm being facetious, but they are the top-rated.
The people that are watching TV.
That's also goes entirely to the point. The people like Tim that, you know, they're not. Although Fox did launch like an OTT over the top service, like no one watches it because the people that watch Fox News don't know like how to use like
My
Netflix.
dad.
Yeah, like Tim, for example. But like,
I'm also getting real annoyed that CTV keeps, when they are advertising TV shows for me to watch, they keep saying streaming at 7:30 or streaming at 9:30. I'm not streaming these shows. I'm not paying for cable to stream television shows. I'm to watch it on TV. Stop telling me that it's streaming, because you're making it seem like that's the default option, and it isn't. Most people are still watching the show rather than streaming, either through DVR or watching it live on their television.
My takeaway is he's watching a lot of network television.
yes,
Of course I am. That's usually the best television. It's great stuff. I mean, not every network show is great, but a lot of network shows are great and are underappreciated by people who rather look down their nose because all they do is like the 600,000 people who watch AMC would rather say, oh, that show, Big Bang Theory, gets 20 million viewers or whatever. Roseanne gets 15 million viewers. Oh, what garbage TV. I'll go watch this thing that
you can watch Chicago PD all to yourself.
There's this new show called 911, which I've been thoroughly enjoying.
I guarantee you that's canceled.
Unless it has like, well, that's what happens with network shows. It's either the highest rated thing of all time or literally no one watches it.
Well, I mean, even shows that don't get watched on network TV still get like 900,000 viewers, which is like a good night on AMC or, you know, FX or whatever.
Yeah, but you understand that people have to pay for those channels, right?
I do.
So if you can get, let's say, 500,000 people watching a show on FX versus 1.5 million watching on ABC, the 500,000 is the better rating for making money because people have to pay to get those channels, where the other channels just come with your TV.
I don't dispute that at all. But
it's like how if a Netflix show gets 400,000 people watching, well, you're paying for Netflix to watch it.
Remember, Tim, based on what we just talked about, don't forget, next time 911 is on, make sure it's playing on all the TVs in your house.
So it counts.
And if you leave, make sure to leave them on, because we don't want your show to get canceled and we need to count the views.
Also, well, the big thing is now, as it pertains to like something like Nielsen ratings, those are only around to benefit networks these days because we actually do have a sense of how many people actually watch each of these shows because so many people watch shows digitally now. That Nielsen ratings are obsolete and they're only around to make network TV seem like a lot of people are watching.
Yeah, I mean, like I noticed this year in November, like during the sweeps, that the shows were not putting their best episodes on. It's like that's a staple of television.
Sweeps is over. Sweeps died like 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still think it probably does count for the networks for the reason you just said.
Yeah, but the networks are only keeping these antiquated systems of TV ratings around solely to make it seem like they're still doing well. But their numbers.
Okay, but I like
down.
November sweeps and February sweeps because that meant I knew the best TV shows were going to be on then. I could get like amped up for February.
This all goes back to the point of why you're scared of artificial intelligence. What has the advancements in technology done for television? It's made it cheaper to make. It's made it more accessible. We have better shows, and we have more shows. We have more options for things to watch.
I would dispute
we have way better shows. TV is
in some ways.
Exponentially better than it was 10 years ago, and even 10 years ago, it was much, much better than it was the 10 years before that. You have as much option. There's a lot of crap that's on TV, but there's always been a lot of crap that's been on TV. You get legit, good, quality TV shows if you go find them right now. Tim's problem, like it is for everything else, he's too afraid to use Amazon Prime, to use Netflix, to use a streaming service to watch your TV. Because that's not how TV is, Jeff. That's not how I remember it. That's how it can't be.
You use my Netflix.
I use your Netflix, I would say 99% more than you do.
I never care, just as long as it's there for me when I want to use it.
What was the last thing you watched on Netflix?
I attempted to watch the last season of House of Cards. It was so bad.
Have you
Oh
e-
my god! It was
This
bad.
recent season?
Have you ever
Oh,
watched?
it's awful.
I haven't watched it.
I've heard it was pretty bad. I don't like.
Like
I
Greg
didn't like House of
Kinnear
Cards
is trying to
begin with.
like they're trying to pretend like Greg Kinnear is a Koch brother, and it's just like it's not working.
What if he was a Koch brother, like he was just doing lines the entire time?
But
Would that have made a better show?
do you
It
remember
would have been at least a show
when
that had some
Tim
original.
thought Netflix and chill meant Netflix and chill?
Yes, I do. I do recall that.
And he's our pop culture maven.
No, our
I am a maven of pop culture. I know what's up.
That would be Doug, who's on the wall behind Jeff.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, there's nothing cooler than eating donuts and hot dogs and whatever. Yeah,
Well, he has all the hot dogs around him. He just says, "All for me, none for you."
yeah. What a given.
So
dog.
besides House of Cards, what else have you ever watched on Netflix?
I really like that show, The Crown. I don't know when the next season's out. I think it's out soon. That's a really well-made show.
Okay.
At least the first 2 seasons are. This year, they're changing all the actors and actresses, so maybe it won't be that great. Black Mirror.
So and Black Mirror. See, I really enjoy Black.
They give a murderer.
Did you watch Making a Murderer?
I sure did.
So
I
these.
watched it when it came out because it was like over Christmas a couple of years ago, and it just
Okay.
it did.
So these shows that you have kind of said. So like your favorite show on TV, Big Bang Theory or The Good Doctor. I'm not sure which one it is,
It's neither of those.
but you like those shows. You just claimed they were both really good.
I've never watched The Good Doctor.
How do you not watch The Good Doctor if you're watching network TV?
I just don't watch it. It must be on when sports are on. I don't even know what night of the week it's on.
So you put up something like House of Cards, which I don't really like, but people seem to really like. It's a well-made
Not
show.
this season.
You put up like The Crown. Like compare The Crown to any network TV show that's on. Like your favorite show, 911. What's a better
No, my
show?
favorite show on Prime on network is The Good Place. That show's excellent.
It got real soft this year.
A little bit, but it needs
Ted
to.
Danson,
Like,
right?
Yeah,
yeah, it needed to. I mean, the last season was a little too hard edged.
This
So
is
it
I
needed to.
like that. But
And that's fine, but you don't want too much bleakness, right? You know, you want to mix it in and out. I don't mind. The last two episodes ago was one of the best episodes of TV. It
okay.
was
So
great.
you're gonna say a comedy. What's your favorite network drama?
My
Right.
favorite is probably This Is Us.
So put up This Is Us versus The Crown
Oh my
in terms of what
God.
is a better show, both from story,
Crown is better.
both from
You
acting.
watch This Is Us like alone?
Yes. Because I started watching it alone. I just continued to watch it alone.
No, I understand, but it's usually like a show that like guys have
I got
to-
hooked on the first episode. I watched it. I got hooked with the twist. And now I'm very eyes wide open about the emotional manipulation that's going on. But I just accept that that's what they're trying to do.
Do you
And
watch,
I've already committed like 30 hours of my life to this show, so I might as well just see it through.
do you watch Blue Bloods?
No, I don't watch Blue Bloods.
anymore.
No, I don't watch Blue Bloods.
Like,
no.
do you watch the remake of Magnum PI or Hawaii Five-0?
I tried because growing up, I used to watch the reruns of Hawaii Five-0 and Magnum PI, but none of them are. They're not that good.
I guess my point is that you think the best show on network TV is This Is Us, and you really like The Crown, which is on Netflix, which is like one of 3 dramas you've ever seen on a streaming service or whatever. And The Crown's a really good show,
It is a really good show.
but it's probably the 10th best cable or streaming show that's going, and it's better than the best network TV show.
But has
you
he
watch.
not seen the great cable shows?
Oh yeah, I've seen them all. I mean,
And
Mad Men
you-
is one of the best shows ever.
Mad Men, Sopranos, The Wire.
Sopranos is great. Well, HBO's not cable; it's HBO. Uh,
But I'm saying
It's also not network TV.
No, I
like
know.
you've seen those shows, you've experienced
and I
those
like them.
shows,
and I like
you,
them.
and you think network TV does a better job?
I think that those shows are all 10 years old for the most part, and that we are not
Okay,
making TV. now as good as
how about Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones is
T-
really
t-
good.
Tell me which network show is better than Game of Thrones.
What about like Killing
mean,
Eve?
Killing Eve was
Game
excellent.
of-
Did you watch all of it?
Yeah.
It's so good. Tim's never heard
Game
of
of
it.
Thrones.
Nothing like that would ever be on network TV.
The whole thing is Tim doesn't allow himself to venture into the world of finding these shows or know what people are talking about. So he
I
doesn't.
find shows because you recommend them.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh
Well,
wow,
people
But
I know
you don't
recommend-
recommend network shows.
I don't know." That's so.
So
so
what
he-
are you
so,
talking
so
about?
the
Recommend,
T,
like,
so
the
the,
Netflix
the,
show.
the guide on the TV recommends shows for Tim, or I tell
know
him
how to
about
find
shows.
network TV. I know how to find network TV shows. I'm saying like off the grid, like the regular, like beyond cable TV shows. I get recommendations and I watch them when I have an opportunity.
But like you're this
Now-
maven of pop culture, so you watch.
The
you
things
for-
that people
hold
are
on,
actually
you
watching.
force yourself to watch award shows so you can stay up on pop culture, And when they award these shows, these categories are filled with shows you've never seen.
Or heard of.
Yeah, but there's always one or two nominees from shows.
Yeah,
I
This Is
have.
Us and Modern Family get some nominees, and you're cheering for them, I'm sure.
Yeah, watching Modern Family is really good.
Modern
Oh
It
Family.
may have
my
lost its
God.
basketball.
Listen, Modern Family it's no different than Everyone Loves Raymond. It's no different than any regular network
It
comedy
stopped
that we've
being
seen for the
good.
sure, but
It's not as good as it used to
it's
be.
what
No.
like season like 16 or something like
yeah,
that.
it went from being an A show to like a B- show.
If the networks like WGN and whatever like the local network is in your area, when they put on like Seinfeld at 11 and 11:30, Modern Family will become one of the rotation shows like that.
Yeah,
Like when
it's
you buy the
not- yeah,
syndication rights, that
yeah.
it'll just be on twice a night. 2.5 Men was like that. Everyone Loves Raymond was like that. Shows. I don't know how long it's going to last because realistically, all Modern Family was a dumbed down version, a nicer version of Arrested
I'll
Development.
say this: network television is worse without our guy Kevin James.
You love Kevin James. You
Kevin
love the King of
Kuwait was a
Queens.
good show. I
Yeah.
liked Kevin Kuwait.
King of Queens might have been my favorite. That had a big syndication run too.
Yeah, you'll.
I loved King of Queens because Jerry Stiller was so good at it.
By the way, the King of Queens, real low. That
See
guy was
the guy who,
real
did
low.
the King of Queens theme
I
song.
liked him 'cause he
for
was
his,
a Jets
wedding
fan and I'm a
card, and
Jets
his wife had
fan.
no clue.
But
Yeah,
like,
he was a Jets fan.
well, what sticks in syndication now? Like the only shows I can really
Seinfeld.
Friends, and The Simpsons are all in syndication on like network, like the offshoot local networks.
Frasier's always on.
Frasier's always on. I love Frasier. Frasier's one of my
seems-
favorite shows.
I love Frasier too.
Like 2.5
We're
Men
not-
might be
we don't make
losing their
TV.
grasp.
I feel like Two and a
Big
Half.
Bang Theory's huge syndication.
Yeah, it will be, and like especially when it finishes, it'll like
Huge.
Modern
reloop.
Family is big in syndication already.
Yeah, but I think 2.5 Men has been like taken off the air. I don't think
Yeah.
you see 2.5 Men anymore.
No, that's a show not for its
Barely
time.
some-
Like you don't see a bunch of Everyone Loves Raymond anymore. That feels like that run is over.
No,
Listen,
that's
what
right,
are the
you don't-
shows on like TBS from 3 to 5 o'clock that like used to just I watched when I was younger?
I don't
'Cause
know.
was
I don't
home
get
at those
TBS
times.
anymore. Or Peachtree
I don't know.
TV.
There's nothing. I'll say this: TV is actually lacking. I think right now.
No,
Yeah,
I
we
think
made better TV 10 years ago than
No,
we make
No,
now.
I'm not saying that. I just don't
I think
have. There's nothing that's
it's
like.
it's harder to filter through because there's so much TV. But the quality of TV is through the roof. There are some really good shows on. Like, did you watch Bodyguard on Netflix?
I'm really.
It's
enjoying
really
that.
good. And TV has gravitated more towards away from the network TV model of, hey, we need to get to 100 episodes because once we get to 100
Yeah, watch
episodes,
a great little
we're-
AMC miniseries. The
yeah,
Little
you can
Drummer
watch
Girl.
a one season series. Like, there's no chance Bodyguard's coming back. Maybe they are coming back again. I don't know. But that works as a standalone. Like, Homeland really fell into this trap. Homeland should have been one season. If Homeland was one season, it's still on the air apparently. But we would regard Homeland as
No.
one of the best
I think
shows
it finished
of
last year.
What did it go for? Like 7 seasons or something?
The second last season, the season that I just saw was actually really good.
But the whole thing is,
I gave up on that show the season where a year after Brody had been a confessed terrorist, they let him walk around unfettered around the vice president's
Yeah.
office. I was like, what's going on here? I have to check out of this show now. Like, this is just too unrealistic.
if you had kept, spoiler alert on Homeland, if you had just kept Homeland one season, in the final episode, the bomb went off and he actually did kill everyone as a suicide bomber, we would remember Homeland as one of the best shows of all time.
Yeah, probably. I just can't believe he can give up on a show. Like every single network show you enjoy has the same holes that Homeland has.
Speaking of him, I've been watching Billions, and I do enjoy that show.
I like Billions. Billions is absolute popcorn TV. Like, it's not a
Yeah.
good, it's a lot, like, it's better than Ray Donovan, because Ray Donovan is just piss poor. Like, it's a bad show.
Yeah, I agree there too.
But Billions is in that same like line. Like Entourage is of the same like filter as well. Like it's a cable show that's a drama, but it's not like super duper serious. There's not a lot of weight behind it. It's Damian Lewis is good in it, Paul Giamatti's good in it, and the side characters are like fun. And
Oh, his father is excellent. I'm trying to think what his name
like
is.
Malkovich showed up this season. That was fantastic. And I love writers, so I'm just gonna love the writers as we go along. I was even a fan of Ocean's 13 with Koppelman, but
You're the only one.
I know I just there's something
He's a
about
big wrestling fan.
there's something about the Ocean's movies that just I really like. I just get
The
behind
original one is good.
If they're on, it's like I'm in. Like because they play a lot in syndication. Like if you just watch like offshoot movie channels, the Ocean's movies are just on, and you can get sucked in at any point on those. But Billions is the most like a network TV show, but takes advantage of it being on cable the best. And that's what elevates it above these network TV shows. Like, you can't deal, like, the only thing you're apparently allowed to deal with, like, adult-wise on network TV is, like, murder and rape. That's it. Like, the fact that characters can't swear, I find really bizarre.
Yeah, but I actually prefer when you can't swear.
Why?
Because too many, and not every show does this, but too many shows use it as a crutch. Rather than finding, like, interesting ways for characters to express their thoughts, they just lean on profanity. When it's done very lightly, like Mad Men used to have 1 or 2 profanities per season.
But they had to negotiate that with the FCC because they were on AMC, and that was still not like HBO. It wasn't a premium cable channel. It was a mid-cable channel, and you can't just swear on that channel. You had to negotiate it.
I would say one of my criticisms of Billions is that they actually lean on profanity a little too much.
No, see, that's one of my favorite parts. They're just,
I
fuck
prefer
this, fuck that.
I don't like it when people curse that much on TV. I don't like it when, like, golfers curse on TV. I don't like it when people
Did you see that?
Sports curse on TV. I just don't like it.
They released a list of letters to the FCC about golfers swearing on TV about how people don't know if they can watch golf anymore. Because Justin Thomas said, "Fuck yeah!" after he won the Honda, and they kept like.
And I criticized that immediately. I did not care for that.
Again, this all goes back to you might as well be 95 years old. Either get with the fucking times or beat off.
Well, no, but there's a lot of people who don't like
old people.
Do you watch The Americans?
Nah, I didn't really.
No, I never.
My wife watches it.
Loved it.
I watched the first 3 seasons and it was okay. And it's funny because I like Cold War stuff. I like spy stuff, but it just didn't have the right vibe for me. I'm big on vibing with TV shows. They need to catch the Pat Mayo wheelhouse of I'm on the same page as them and I can kind of go with it. I wish it was
the best show the last couple
I wish
years.
it was funnier.
Okay, I agree there was never a joke.
And it doesn't need to be like light funny. It can be dark funny. Just I would like more of that. I like to laugh. I'm a laugher. What can I say?
Comedy and TV seems real hard. There aren't many good ones, in my opinion.
There's a lot of shots at comedy. Like, I still think the best comedy on TV right now is BoJack, and it's also one of the best dramas on TV, too.
I mean, if you consider Curb on TV, Curb's funnier than BoJack.
New Curb. Nah, the last season of Curb was very hit or miss.
Yeah, but the hits were better than anything else that's coming on TV in terms of comedy. The misses were not great, but the hits were uproarious.
Yeah, I feel like listen. I'm baked into Curb. I'm going to enjoy Curb because I like Larry David. I've watched the show forever. I'm in. Like, you're not losing me as a viewer on Curb. It was like how I stuck it out to the end of Entourage, although that show was legit terrible for like 5 years. But you stick around. But I don't know. I felt like. Have you watched the latest season? When was the last BoJack season you watched?
Not this season, the season before.
So
I found it just so unrelentingly bleak. It's like, I don't know, man. It's supposed to be funny and making me laugh.
It is funny.
Again, as I get older, I find some of the nihilistic elements of comedy to just be unnecessary. And I just don't need to subject myself to consistent, like, I can deal with an episode or two, but like when the whole season is just unrelenting, it's like the second last season of Mad Men was just so unrelentingly dark. At some point, you're like, you know what? I got better things to do.
Like watch 911.
You watch This Is Us.
Yeah.
What's more
but
unrelentingly dark than that?
Okay. But A, This Is Us started that way, and B, I don't put This Is Us on a pedestal of like the greatest. There's some people who think
you
like,
just called it the best show on network TV.
I just can't fathom that average people spend their day living life as it's currently constructed and then want to watch that show.
No, I don't get it either.
It can be a catharsis.
Deadwood's making a movie.
I heard that. See, I really like Deadwood.
Maybe my favorite show of all the great HBO shows.
That was a great show.
It might be number one. Also, because 3 seasons to me is like the perfect length. It lets you. It tells me right away that it's where the writer wanted it the whole time almost.
I agree. I mean, I think one of the great failings of the show Rome is that they didn't have a third season. That if they had gotten 3 seasons out of that show, it would have been an all-timer. But the fact it went 2 and they had to rush a ton of the material in the second season, like vitiated the whole experience.
That show almost bankrupted HBO because it was so expensive and no one watched it.
It was so good though.
You think Game of
Everyone-
Thrones had bankrupted,
But
other than everyone
watches it.
and it made millennials pay for their streaming service.
Yep. Just like how Star
I
Trek.
think that's the most. I watch it. It's so overrated,
What,
right?
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
No, I feel like there's rarely a letdown.
Oh,
in
it
Game of
is
Thrones.
overrated, but
It's
it's,
like-
also
it's
it's,
But
both good and overrated.
how are we rating Game of Thrones?
No,
Are we saying it's as good as The Wire? No.
No, I
Well,
watch it.
there are people who think it is.
No,
That's the
there
problem.
aren't. There aren't
They
people
rate
who
it
think
in
that.
that
way.
Can I be
Pantheon.
honest? I'm at the point now
I
with
think
Game
it's-
of Thrones where I watch it because of the pop culture factor more than like I'm really enjoying it.
I really enjoy it. I like watching Game of Thrones, and people are like, "Oh, this season's a letdown. That season's a letdown." It's become the show that has to be a letdown because everyone, maybe you're right, has overhyped it. Like, this is going to be amazing, and then if it's not 10 out of 10 every time, people get like triggered by it. But
How sad are they going to be when the Night King sits
when
upon
the
the
White
Iron
Walkers
Throne?
win. But like the way to look at it is it's the only show that we really have that does seem to what network TV used to do of bringing people together. Because there's no one show like that anymore. In Game of Thrones,
Football, Sunday night football, and Sunday afternoon football, 5:00.
Bring people together. Ask my wife
But the
how
ratings
mad
are
she is when I'm still needing to watch football Sunday night.
The ratings are huge, and you can just tell by
I
the-
like how we're having this conversation about very clearly scripted TV shows, and Tim's now talking about football. Yeah, the Super Bowl's big too, Tim.
Okay,
Thanks.
fine. I agree that Game of Thrones right now is pretty much the only appointment television show.
It's the only show that I don't really work in
If
an
you
office.
miss it,
I don't work in
yeah,
an office
yeah.
anymore, but when we did work in an office, when Game of Thrones was on, you'd come in the next day. If you hadn't watched it, it would be spoiled for you by someone.
And
at
it's
work.
your own fault because it's so big. It's almost like you can't expecting like this. Expect like you have to almost watch it or expect it to be
Be
ruined
spoiled.
because
It
it's
is the
so
only show like that.
preeminent. Now. Yeah, at the moment, absolutely.
Now, it might
is.
be different where Tim works. If he's working with a bunch of old people, maybe like Golden Girls reruns or just getting back on them, and maybe those get spoiled in the morning. I don't know. What do you guys talk about, Tim? What TV shows do you talk about at work, or do you just alienate yourself from the rest of your coworkers?
I don't talk about TV shows.
Why not?
I don't know. I like to. I don't talk about a lot of TV shows. I don't know.
Cust Corner.
Even the tomato sauce has you cannot mimic the tomato sauce from a can of
From a can.
good. I think it's delicious. You add a little cheese whiz on top on a bowl of like ravioli, and you are good to go.
Oh my god. Did you say cheese whiz? Was that like that?
Yeah.
Does he mean like some Parmesan, or he actually means like the
che-
whiz?
Like the whiz. He is
Yeah,
the
like
whiz.
a dollop of cheese whiz. Like you mix it up in there in the pasta.
Oh,
It's lit.
no.
It's lit. It sounds like you're taking cooking lessons from your secret father, Weber Cooks.
Hello, Wildcats. This is Weber Cooks, and today we're doing chili cheese nachos. And we pop these both in the microwave, and we set the microwave for 4.5 minutes. You got to be careful because the cheese sauce is really hot, and the chili is hot also. We mix them both together, and this will run you about $6. This was Weber Cooks.
Oh, Wildcats.
He's not similar card cage.
Well, he makes meals that are just as sad as you seem to enjoy. It seems like you should go to the Learning Annex and take his cooking class after you take that computer class.
Chef Boyardee is good food. I will not hear any otherwise.
Cust Corner.
I love daylight savings time ending and real time beginning. Thank goodness.
What?
The best time of year.
He
It
likes
gets dark
he likes when it
early.
gets dark out early. There's nothing more depressing than when we leave the studio and it's dark out. It's like,
Oh, I don't like. I feel it's like comforting and nice and warm, and you know the holidays are, the holidays are coming, and like at noon the sun is actually in the middle of the sky instead of like way offside when you have daylight savings time, and it's the best time of year. I really think so. I really like it when it gets dark early.
Do you still get a picture with Santa?
Tim likes to lurk, so the darkness works really well for him.
Is he still because he's at the mall a lot? Do you think he still loiters the?
Listen, no shots
Christmas
at Tim, but I don't think Santa wants Tim coming up and sitting on his lap. I'm not going to lie to you.
I don't think so.
And it's too bright in malls in the winter for Tim because it's dark out. It's bright in the mall. He can't lurk like he does on a Sunday afternoon.
No, at Christmas time, as I've said before, that's when all the weekend warriors show up.
Can't stand the mall at Christmas. All the bandwagon mall
fans. Yeah, I will say, I bet you traffic at the mall over Christmas has subsided noticeably over the past 3 years. Because there's I will not go to the mall to buy a gift this year. I will legit order everything on Amazon. And the best part is I can buy gifts for my mom who lives 2,000 miles away. I can just order something on Amazon and get delivered to her door. I don't have to worry about bringing it home with me, going to the mall, wrapping it up, putting it in a suitcase,
Amazon.
checking a bag, which is the biggest sucker move in the biz. Carry-on's only. You're coming up here this weekend. You're definitely checking a bag, aren't you?
No, absolutely not. I'm not.
There you go. See, you're learning.
Well, guess
you're
what?
Learning.
Guess what, pal? You don't get on an airplane with a little one and not have to check a bag.
Okay, that's fair.
There, buddy.
Tim's not traveling with. I hope he's not traveling with kids.
Well, I'm just saying, so your upcoming vacation.
Yeah, well,
you're checking bags.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. In general, for travel, checking bags is for suckers.
Okay, fine.
I would tend to agree. Unless you're going on a 2-week trip or something. Yeah, I agree.
I went to Europe on my honeymoon and didn't bring a carry-on.
That's fair, but if you were planning to bring home a bunch of souvenirs or something, I get it.
My wife had to check a bag.
Yeah,
and that probably bothered you so much.
It did. It cost us so much fucking time in the Munich airport of her waiting. Everything's in German, although Germany's pretty legit for speaking English. But we had to find this different carousels. We could just get our bags and walk off the plane and go to the hotel. We're good to go here. And then in Morocco, the Moroccan airport is such a fucking scam.
You were away a long time to not have
I was
a checked
17
bag.
days. Do you know what I did? Because we went to
Come on, man.
We went to 7
Yeah, women can't go away for 17. I couldn't go away for 17 days and not check a bag.
Here's the move.
Yeah, because he patches, buys the clothes, wears them, and throws them out.
Boom! That's what you do. I have the certain things that I want to wear, but I bring 2 or 3 pairs of underwear and socks with me, and wherever I go, I'll just buy new underwear, cheap underwear, and wear them there. That stuff just clogs up your suitcase. Also, when I mapped out, we traveled to 7 different cities over the 17 days. We went
with an overnight bag.
It was a carry-on suitcase.
I get it, but
also, the place that we went to in Vienna, and I made, because that was right in the middle of our trip, I made sure that they had laundry on site, so I did laundry when I was there.
But just as an example, my shoes, my size 11 shoes take up so much room in a suitcase.
Mine actually do as well, because I brought I actually brought 2 pairs.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought
you some nice dinners and walking shoes.
I bought my sneakers.
Exactly.
I was going to the gym all the time too when we were away, so I brought my gym shoes.
Maybe sandals if it's the
No,
summertime.
absolutely not. No sandals ever.
Well, you could put that stuff in the missus bag.
No, she was jam packed because she had a carry on and a checked bag and a purse with stuff in it. So I utilized my backpack pretty well. So I had stuff in my backpack, but it's all about packing. If you have good spatial awareness inside of your suitcase, you can really fit a lot in there.
You gotta learn the cylindrical roll.
He's right. That is 100% the key.
Guys like me and Tim, our clothes are too big.
Maybe that's the case. I hadn't considered that.
Our clothes are
I wear mini-me clothes, so that does help me. But rolling up all of your t-shirts, if you bring 6 t-shirts with you, let's say, and you roll them all up, they're right there. If you're going to bring socks or t-shirts, you can fit those into your shoes so it takes up less space. The inside of your shoe is just empty space in a suitcase. You can jam shit in there. Just find out the maximum efficiency for your suitcase that it can still fit in and get into that overhead compartment because you don't want to be that asshole. I can't stand when the people go up and their suitcase doesn't fit And now it's like a whole deal. And like, no.
Oh, yeah. Now people bring on full-size suitcases and try to shove them.
I'm against that. I have a legitimate carry-on suitcase that fits in every fucking overhead compartment.
Me too. I've got a little valise with the wheels. Exactly. It's meant for overhead bins.
Also,
it's very perfect.
If we're on this right now, we call this Pat's Corner, just because air travel makes me very upset. Oh, and I'm such a good traveler. It's amazing. So efficient at airports, getting on and off planes, scheduling my tickets so I have a perfect route out. I always want to be near the front of the plane, easy access on, easy access off. I'm not talking about buying first class. I'm no rich. I'm a medium. So I can afford like the extra $30 so I get like row 4, the one behind first class, so I can still be in and out. But I don't want to see people who are sitting in the fucking back, putting their overheads over like my seat and then walking to the back. No. And when we get up at the end, you don't need to stand up. If you're in the back row, you don't need to be standing up once the plane lands. Also, don't fucking clap when the plane lands. It's supposed to land.
Okay, I don't care about the clapping. I'm
clapping
not a clapper. But the worst people on the planet are the people like that stand up.
Instantly, gotta get my bag.
Like why? And then you gotta stand there, and then you're just hovering.
You're doing
over
this
me.
thing underneath,
and then you're just like hovering over me, dude. Like we're here. And I mean this. Listen, I try to avoid, I guess, connectors at all costs. But I strongly believe that there should just be a rule, and I know assholes might violate it, but I don't know there's a way. Like, if people with connecting flights should be allowed off that fucking plane first.
I agree. There are some airlines that do that.
Like, no, like let them fucking off. Can you imagine? I couldn't imagine. If I had a connector and I was sitting, like, I would probably be losing my mind because we've all been there. So, I don't know. That's like my one thing. And I don't know.
The other big one, too.
I
don't mind airplanes so much. But again, you guys have both mentioned you're both bigger than me. I fit into like any seat.
No, I'm not that big.
Well, no, but you're going to be less comfortable than I'm going to be in a seat.
No, I'm fine. I got my wife and daughter. They're both small. I got the gourds of room they don't take up.
That's fair. I sat next to a guy. I went to go see Bohemian Rhapsody the other night. I had to move seats. The guy should have had to pay for 2 seats. It was unbearable. And he had put that like salt and vinegar shit on his popcorn.
Oh god!
Like the smell was getting to me. And then he started spilling it all over himself, and half of him was in my seat. Like,
this is why they need to have ushers who can come in and throw these people out. You're coming around to my view on these things.
You know what? On that type of thing, you're kind of right. Last thing about the airplanes though, and the people who stand up. Listen, if you want to stand up because you want to stretch your legs, whatever. Don't be the guy who's in the row behind me, who's been standing up for like 30 minutes for some unknown reason, waiting for like the lines to go, that when the line filters through and I'm still sitting down and it's getting to me, I see like 2 rows ahead of me, they start to get out, I take off my seatbelt and go get, well, you're trying to get ahead of me? Like, no, I've had the good sense to sit here the entire time because I'm not a fucking moron. You can fucking curb it, pal. Like, just... Flying makes me very angry, for one thing, and I'm not afraid to get... As Tim knows, I'm not afraid to get into it in public with people. Tim, you've experienced this before.
My least favorite...
I was threatening that woman at McDonald's that day.
Airports and hospitals.
You did.
She would not give me an extra barbecue sauce.
Oh, you wanted 7 extra barbecue sauces.
Well, I ordered my fucking nuggets. I wanted nug per dipping sauce. I was very hungover. I was very angry.
Okay, I don't know if I want to defend...
to your view.
Okay, fine.
When you're someone like Pat Mayo who demands satisfaction wherever you go, you expect to get it. I'm a paying customer.
Thank you. That's how I feel about it. And then you razz me about saying things like that.
He's right.
We're not so different, you and I.
I know. This is why we're friends. We're not that different.
I'm a bad traveler, though. I hate it.
I really say I get excited to get
I like traveling because airports to me are like mini malls, and I get to like walk around the airport like it's a mall. Because there are shops and there are places to go, and there are restaurants, and like there are bookstores and it's almost like a mall. So like I don't mind the connectors when I've got a little time.
It's a really expensive mall.
You can do a lap around the airport, when you're killing time, and it's actually quite nice.
So what the fuck's a hospital?
It's a sad mall.
It's a place for people.
A sad mall?
You do all of his walking around there. There's even lines that you can follow, too, that bring you to different places.
I avoid airports and hospitals like the plague.
No, airports are underrated. They're not the worst.
I don't like airports, but there are certain things in airports. Like I try to get to the airport as late as possible, like 3 hours before an international flight. Please, like 30 minutes tops.
See, I don't mind getting there early because I like to read a book or listen to a podcast or walk around. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to do this at home anyway, so why not just get out in the airport and see something different?
You're not seeing anything. You're at the airport. Same thing.
But I'm seeing different sights that I would usually see if I were at home.
And like a poor, you don't even have lounge membership to places.
Oh yes, you're right. We're going to hold a benefit in my honor when we're up there, so I can get lounge. I don't want lounge members. I mean,
really? What about when we were? What about when we were at Super Bowl and we used my lounge access to do what, Tim?
That was very nice, and I enjoyed that lounge. But I'm not saying I can.
Now imagine you walk into any airport and you can go play a golf simulator as you wait for your. You get your food, you get your unlimited drinks, your golf simulators. Doesn't that sound worth the $33?
Well, but again, this is why you're an urbane elite, and I am a man of the people and for the people.
I am just someone who is so excellent at traveling that I have it all figured out. All figured out. You know who never gets harassed going through the stuff? Me. I have everything taken out of my pockets. Everything I'm supposed to be able to take out of my bags, I have taken out. If I have liquid, it's already in a bag because I don't want to be hassled going through security. I don't get, like, the amount of people that don't take their laptops out of bags, like, oh, forgot it was in there. Like, you've traveled before. That has to be a thing. Yet you forget to take your laptop out of your bag, and now you're causing everything to back up. Just have a bit of fucking common sense at the airport. Everything would work much better.
I'm with you. I'm with you on just about everything you've said.
Except for you should never recline your chair on an airplane.
Oh, no, you must recline your chair.
That's
if you want to.
No.
I paid for the chair. The chair reclines. I'm going to recline if I want to.
You shouldn't recline your chair. That works against the best interest of everybody.
I paid good money for that seat. If I want to recline, I'm going to recline.
You shouldn't do it.
I have no ethical obligation to anybody else when it comes to reclining. Because they can recline back too. It'd be different if they couldn't recline, but if they can recline back in the same way.
It sucks for
if you don't want me to recline my chair,
it sucks for it's a human centipede of sucking all the way down. If everyone is tilting back, if everyone wants to be fake Fat Joe and lean back just a little bit, it's not going to be any good. Why don't you work on your posture for 3 hours?
Why don't they go ahead and disable the reclining function on my chair then?
That's absolutely coming.
And that's fine though. Great. Then as long as the function is there, I shall use it. And I actually, again, I don't care if you use it or don't use it, but the sort of like preening, finger wagging nonsense, like you shouldn't recline your chair.
You shouldn't. You get triggered if people bring food from off the plane onto the plane.
That bothers me.
That bothers him too. He thinks that should be banned, but reclining, that's fine.
Who made you the president of deciding?
That bothers me so much.
Who made you the president of deciding who gets to recline their chair and doesn't get to recline their chair?
The answer is just
no
one.
He's not the president.
No one should do it.
Well, I do when I want to. I don't always, but sometimes if I haven't got much leg room or whatever, I get extra leg room that way.
Cust Corner.
We've already established you're not.
I don't understand why you have been so antagonistic towards me on the show today.
Because you're just straight up lying about what you're doing.
No, I'm not.
Jeff, is there any chance that he wasn't moving around earlier when he was? We
was,
can hear him.
Yeah, there was movement.
Paul?
Oh, buddy. He's a pathological liar at this point.
Pathological liar.
I am the one who was here. I know what I was doing.
We can hear you moving around. You pretend you're being sneaking out for cigs.
No.
And then every time that you get up and try to go out the door, it goes.
No, I put myself on mute anytime I have to move or do something.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't.
I do. All right. I know what you're trying to do.
I'm surprised he
He doesn't know it. Do you know what he does?
No,
he doesn't mute his own mic. Do you know what he does? This is exactly what happens. Because Tim is so bad at technology. He's not muting himself. When
yes, I am. I put the mute button right here on the keyboard. Mute.
Yeah, that doesn't mute you, you moron. It mutes us from you hearing us.
Oh, I thought it mutes everything.
So when you are moving and ruffling, we're hearing you, man. That's what we've been saying.
But I wasn't in that instance.
This is as good as the thing where you couldn't open the windows.
This explains a lot. It just took me a while to think through it
Yeah.
and just put myself into
I'm
Tim's
like,
shoes.
wait, he can't actually do what he's saying.
Exactly. He doesn't know how to mute himself. He's just putting his computer on mute so he can't hear anything.
Like, right here-
Why would you not be able to hear us if you put yourself on mute? Because we
I
wouldn't
thought
be
by
muted.
hitting it, I don't make any sound, and you don't make any sound.
No.
That's what the button on the keyboard did. And then I just
you have
hit it
muted
then.
you have muted us in that instance, not you.
'Cause, like, when you tell me you can't hear me, like, I hit the sound up button or sound down buttons on my keyboard, and that seems to work.
No,
'Cause you said
it
better.
doesn't. Paul turns you up on our audio board.
Oh, I thought it's because I wasn't talking loudly.
Yeah, I know he can mute himself in Zoom, Paul, but he couldn't figure out how to use Zoom. Like,
No, I know.
he has not thought that far in advance. Yes, I get that it's possible that he could mute himself, but I know that that's not what he's doing. Man, that's a bad look for you. I like that he thought he was turning himself up too by pressing a louder volume.
I thought I was being pretty slick here.
Well, it's all right. In the next minute and a half, you can go heat up some frozen potato skins, and you'll forget about this whole thing ever
Oh,
happening.
that's so gross. And they're probably,
Like, they're bad to begin with.
yeah.
Now he's adding in the element of
And you
cooking
have
them
to
in the
like
microwave.
over nuke them because you don't want to bite into it and like
Well,
have
that's
a
it.
cold
You have to
center.
overnuke them.
So he has to over nuke it, and it's just the whole revolting.
I know what clip you're going to cut for Twitter.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Tim, mute yourself.
Yeah, mute yourself, Tim.
No, that doesn't work.
What clip do you think he's gonna cut?
So wait, so if I click this button,
Keep talking.
or can you not hear that? Like, I'm clicking now the button next to the start video button on Zoom. Is that the mute button that I should be using?
The one that with the cross through the microphone.
I would say, Tim, don't even bother because you're gonna mess it up.
Yeah, you'll probably just like shut down the entire production if you tried this stuff.
There's like an X or a line going through. a
Yeah,
mic-
I think I got it. I think I got it cased.
Let's see. Talk.
See, he's doing it.
He got it.
He got
I
it.
was talking.
You
I
Figured
was
it,
talking.
You figured it
How
out.
does it feel?
I mean, it's just as simple. I should have. I don't know. I thought that Apples were like smart enough that like all the programs read through the keyboard, and that when I pushed a button on the keyboard, it like interfaced with all of the program that I was running. That's all. That was my mistake.
Now, when you think like what the cloud is, do you think it's connected to your brain so it knows what whatever you're thinking the computer does?
No, although I don't quite understand the cloud, to be perfectly honest with you.
What do you mean you don't understand the
I
cloud?
don't quite get what it does. I know it like stores stuff, but I'm not quite sure what or how it's storing things or like how I access it. But I mean, that's because I've never really looked into it that much.
You should use the cloud. It's easy.
I'm sure it is. I probably am using the cloud and don't even know it.
Potentially. It's like I have my phone, computer, iPad all synced up to the same thing so I can access all the same information from any device.
I probably do. My brother did all the stuff for me when I got some stuff because he's really good with technology. So he would have set me up with it, I'm sure.
How, are you in a position to know who is and who is not good at technology?
Well, I like
It's like my grandma. My grandma asked me to fix Google one time when I was home for Christmas.
I like to think myself as an everyman. And so people better than me, I like to think are pretty good at technology. People worse than me, I think are bad at technology.
Are there people that are worse than you in your age range? How this is the way you should look at it. In your age range, is there anyone worse at technology than you
I don't know. I'm sure there are.
that you know?
I'm sure there are. I don't know.
No, the answer is no.
Even
our friend who's like, we think that he's like real borderline. Tim always says he's dyslexic, but he's not. That's his excuse. He's dumb. Remember when people were allowed to be like stupid? We have a friend who's stupid.
Cust Corner.
So I've brought up when we were hanging out with Tim on Saturday a couple times.
Okay, I have one big note from that night.
Okay, well, I don't take many notes at all, but I've got one thing double underlined, so it's probably the exact same.
Is it Alexa?
Yes. Well, I wrote Siri, but I guess we meant the exact same.
Yeah,
thing.
it was a Google product, so it
Yeah.
was Alexa. Yes,
Tim was so. You guys asked Alexa's score of
the Raptors game.
of a Raptor
No, the
game
Boston-
or the
Boston
Clemson
College.
game.
It was the Boston. It was Alexa. What's the score of the Boston College game? The score is Boston College. Da da da. Like right away.
And Tim was literally like he was encountered by an alien. He was so shook, I think is the word the kids use these days. Shook that this life form was giving him accurate information. Technically, you could tell he was like bothered by
It was. He was free. He was absolutely rattled by Alexa.
a technological advancement. He was bothered.
Now, on this show, we've once said that Siri is Tim's best friend. It could turn out that Alexa is Tim's best friend if Tim would go down the route of getting Alexa and Google Home.
I have never seen one before. I've never seen
Where
it
do you
used.
live that you've never seen one of these before?
And I found it very terrifying that this non-sentient machine just knew automatically some information. I wasn't prepared for it. I just didn't expect it, and I felt like this
Violated. He felt raped.
He felt
Like,
he
this
was
is-
triggered. He was very much triggered.
No, I don't know about triggered. Like
Ale-
shook.
Alexa
Shook.
is not allowed in Tim's safe space.
like all the fears I have about like a dystopian future, like Big Brother, 1984, and Brave New World. Like Alexa sort of like represents that thin end of the wedge for me, where like AI becomes too. It just I saw it. I saw how quickly it answered the question, and I was like, oh dear God, that is frightening. And yeah, I was, as the kids say, shook. Alexa's bad. It shouldn't exist.
The funny thing
But
is,
you were all big on Watson when it was on Jeopardy,
No, I wasn't.
and you love Deep Blue.
Well, I mean, anyone can play chess.
So if a computer can play chess, it can't tell you the fucking score of an
He just
NCAA
knew
football
it.
game?
Your friend leaned over, asked it, it got an answer back immediately, and I found that interaction to be quite chilling.
So
And
you were more prepared to wait for the newspaper the next
I'm
day,
used to
or at least the
making-
afternoon
a couple
edition
things.
the next day, because it was
Like,
too late of a
but
game
he-
to be in the paper
he
the next
claims
day.
to be so foreign about it, but he watches every big game. He watches all the big like network shows.
And,
So
this
he
is
would
the-
see
and he
the
watches commercials. He
That's my
loves
point.
commercials.
So like I don't know how he, like when he interacts with humans, these things like have never existed. When he has been desensitized to them through corporate advertising.
That's all fair, but when you see it in the flesh for the first time, you don't know how you'll react. And I, without even realizing, I was just, I physically like moved backwards from it. I was like afraid of it.
But isn't it like, I don't know, hypothetically, you got your hands dirty, you're like cooking, and you want like how many?
Well, Tim doesn't get his hands dirty when he cooks because he just puts everything in the microwave.
Like how many tablespoons of X do I need now? Like, cause you forget. And
Yeah, you just
don't
ask
need
Alexa, it tells you.
You don't need to go through a book. You don't need to scroll your phone. You just ask the question.
Tim also forgets to use Google a lot of the time. Like we've been doing this running thing through or like we all have iPhones, so we have like an iMessage
Group
thread
chat.
group chat going. But you can send like the different like fonts, or send stuff upside down, or make fireworks go off when you send a message. And he was like triggered for like a good week because that's all we were doing. We're sending him these types of messages. And he's like, I don't know how to do this. I checked my settings. It doesn't tell me. I was like, please tell me how to make all of like the bubbles come up on the screen when you do it. And he didn't type that into Google at any point. He just was furious and was asking us. So he
Because
can't even remember to Google things, let alone ask Alexa things.
I was maybe, and this is just part of my being of a generation where I was of the last generation where I was taught.
We're
to
both older than you fucktard.
I was taught to look things up for myself and depend on my own brain to find answers, and that like it's like doing a crossword puzzle and like going to Google to find an answer. That's cheating. My brain is trained to like just depend on what I know and how I can figure things out. And so I'm just
as it turns out, you're really bad at figuring things out.
My default is not just to go to Google, which is like a hack, and then get all your answers. Like I don't know. I'm like when I was going to school, I never went to the digital resources. I went to the library. I took the book off the shelf. I read the actual book. I took physical notes by hand in my notebooks. That's the way I was trained to research and figure things out. And so I'm not used to just going to a digital resource or a search engine and getting all this stuff. I know I should. It would make.
But you don't know that you can though. Because you
It's just
would,
not-
if you remembered, you would do it. And
just not
don't
like-
pass it off like you're some part of a generation that uses fucking books. You're younger than both of us, and that's not a part of our generation. So
Well,
cut
it is actually a part
cut
of
the
our
absolute shit on that.
It is actually a part of our generation.
No, it's not. It's just
it
you refuse to do it.
It's what I am used to, and it's the way.
So you
it's just-
refuse to change to the times. You just preferred to live
No.
like it was 25 years ago.
Not at all, but just my default setting is to not look at Google right away.
Okay, so to not look at it right away, what happens then a week later when you're still asking the question? It just hasn't occurred to you to do it.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that that's not true, but I'm just saying my natural reaction isn't to Google these things. Things are being made too easy. And like there's a value, there's a virtue in actually learning to figure out things for yourself by reading up on
I
it.
don't think he's wrong, but that's different than still
Instead of having
struggling
everything
with
just
something
handed
a
to
week
you, like
after.
hipster millennials today, were handed everything to them and never have to, sweat by the brow, have to actually work and figure out, like look at an encyclopedia to figure out something.
See, Cust lives the hipster lifestyle. That's classic hipster, and Tim doesn't seem to realize that, because what do hipsters do? They like stuff that's out of style and out of date and stuff that's useless to do and very non-efficient. That's what Tim's doing with almost everything he does.
And no
he lives a
offense,
hipster lifestyle.
He'll probably argue this vehemently, but in 2018, anyone like sitting down in their chaise lounge opening an encyclopedia is an elitist.
Elitist or a moron who can't figure out how to use their phone.
Well, I don't think it's elitist.
It's super
I mean-
elitist. Who the hell would own encyclopedias? Why would you ever spend the money on it? It makes no sense. It's free on the internet.
My parents did.
How long have they had them?
Well, it was a long time ago, and I was like in
Yeah,
grade
yes. So
school.
they have the encyclopedias. They're not actively searching
no,
out
no.
new encyclopedias.
Didn't they
No, and
still
I don't-
make
I-
these?
I
Still
very
make
It's
that
not like
stuff?
Mr. Britannica's coming to your door being like, "Sir, do you need some mahogany encyclopedias?" And Tim is like, "Well, come on in. I'll get up some scones and tea."
Although encyclopedias are still very useful online, like the actual, like the Oxford English, there are various Encyclopedia Britannica, the OED, like which is basically an encyclopedia for all intents and purposes. I still have like what you would have found in the book, but just in digital form. Those are still useful. I mean,
That's
I have
what
the
I
old.
plagiarized to.
To pass college.
Oh no, this is more like grade school. By college, I wasn't that like.
Anyway, my default is not just to immediately run to Google and have things handed to me like millennials today. I guess I'm just used to not having things.
You're used to not knowing things, and you're
Yeah,
very
right.
comfortable with that. Although you bitch and complain that you don't know about it, and then
You're
beg,
right,
and then instead of using Google, you beg us to tell you. That's
Like,
your method instead of using
I
Google.
actually am comfortable with not knowing.
You're
something
not, because
like-
you sit there and whine like a little bitch about how you
And
don't and you don't know. And all you could have done is Google. You're like, no, you got to tell me. Why won't this work? I'm trying it on my phone. Obviously, there's something wrong with my phone. Remember when we convinced you that you couldn't change the name of the text group because your particular version of the phone couldn't do it?
Yes, I did not expect for you all to lie to me like that. You're right. I plead guilty. I did not expect my friends to be telling me out and out lies, and then just keep reinforcing those lies. You're right. I trusted you guys.
We even photoshopped up a thing of our settings versus his settings and where the button would be, and he got very triggered. And again, this is something that went on for like a good 10 days that could have been solved in less than 10 seconds if he had just used Siri, Googled it, or used Alexa.
But it's like.
But he's too
basic-
afraid of Alexa.
It's like
It's
basic.
coming to steal his. Do you let pictures be taken of you? Like, is this even a real picture? Like, it looks like you think someone's stealing your soul in this picture.
It's basic settings to change the chat.
It's in the actual text. You text the group, and at the top, you just click on it and change
Yeah,
the
yeah.
name. That's
you have
it.
to touch that little I button. That's what I didn't realize. I kept going into like the message settings in the iPhone. That's where I thought you could do it. 'Cause that's where they told me you could do it.
That's where you used to assume everything can be changed in the settings, although nothing can really be changed in the settings.
Okay.
Did
I
you?
plead guilty.
Yeah, so just start using Google. You can actually go use Amazon or Walmart.com right now to go purchase Monopoly Millennial.
So the future's going to trigger this guy even more.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be, I mean, if he was handy, which he's not, he'd dig a ditch and just go live in that and just get away from the world. Live in a little hut.
Off the
Yeah,
grid.
but I mean, I've already made peace with the fact that the world I wish to live in and the world that I'm going to encounter are not going to be the same thing. And once you accept that you're just a man out of time, that's just how it is.
Do you
some
tell
of
people
us-
that you live non-linearly?
No, but some of us will cleave to the old ways longer than we should because that's our sort of default character. Not different people have different characters, and to try to force people to have different characters to fit with some preconceived notion of what should be up and coming does them a disservice. There's always value to the people who look backwards and say, well, but there was something valuable about we had before.
You know what was great? The Sears Wish Book catalog. I love
Wish Book.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
That to me was a part of Christmas time growing up when I was young, looking at the Wish Book and picking.
Yeah, you know what? You're not a fucking child anymore.
No, I'm not, and I wouldn't use it now. But I feel bad for the kids who are like 8 and 9 now, or will be 8 and 9.
So
in the future.
you feel bad for anyone that didn't experience life exactly how you experienced it.
No,
is what you're
but
saying.
I know it was enjoyable, and that enjoyable experience will not be theirs.
It was a
and I
book
think
of toys, of course.
Yeah,
it was
but it's no
enjoyable.
different than being on your iPad and scrolling through Amazon in a list of toys. Anyway, I want that one and that one and that one. And then all I have to do is just touch it, and then it comes. What is there something that's different about that? Please tell me.
It was exciting when the book arrived at the house, and then you got to leaf page by page by page through it, and you had to work for it. Once again, it wasn't just handed to you by 2 clicks of a mouse. It was just sent to your door. No, but you had to put in the labor of going through all the pages and figuring out what you wanted and what you didn't. And you had to pick and choose. Again, there's some character building virtue in putting a little bit of effort into searching and finding, rather than having everything just handed to you on a silver platter. I think it makes makes for better character. At least in my experience, it did.
This is all just rhetoric from someone who can't figure out how to use their phone.
No, see, it's not, though.
It is, because you're bad at technology. If you were good with technology, you would love all of this stuff.
I've never said I was great with technology.
You did. You said that you're an early adopter of technology and that you're great at technology. Your quote.
I don't think I ever said I was great with technology. I don't think I've ever. I think I'm a little too self-aware to have said that.
Oh, yes. I mean, if there's one thing you're big on, it's self-awareness. Just like this Monopoly Millennial game. Are you in on that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't buy any properties because they're not allowed, because millennials don't buy properties.
Well, no, it's because the prices, you don't get enough money and the prices are too expensive.
I mean, you don't build up houses or hotels, because if it's not Airbnb or something, you're not interested in it, because God forbid you stay in a hotel like a grown-up. Or, what else? There's no, chance and community chess would both be too triggering, because, oh no, there could be a chance of getting a bad question.
Although a free parking was not changed to a safe space, though. I feel like they really missed the boat on that.
They did miss the boat on that. Yeah.
Although, again, you're just a sucker who stays in the hotels. Why wouldn't you go to an Airbnb? We all know that Airbnbs are better experiences.
Oh no, I like hotels. I like a hotel room. I like the concierge. I like walking into the lounge, there being a restaurant attached to it. The room that's on its the room I'm used to.
The concierge?
Nothing. He asked him where do I buy cigs?
No, that's not true. If I'm in a different city, I ask all kinds of questions. Where can I find this? Where can I find that? Where's a good place to get this? Where's a good place to get that? I ask advice. 100%. Call for a wake-up call, for example. I like to call a concierge for that. Lots of stuff. I actually think there's value in that. I also don't like living in someone else's house, which is what an Airbnb is. I mean, I understand there are lots of benefits of it. I'm not anti-Airbnb.
You just said that adults don't use Airbnb. I would figure that only adults use Airbnb.
No, but to run away from hotels at all times just to use Airbnb, I think there was something not grown up about that. I mean,
how about this? It's more fiscally responsible to go Airbnb because it's most of the time, 95% of the time, cheaper. So what you're saying is that being fiscally responsible is not an adult move.
There are some times when the Airbnb makes the most sense, but there are other times where
the majority of the time Airbnb makes the most sense. Plus, you get to dropped in the middle of a section of the city that you can go choose, and then you get to experience the culture of that city a lot more than just going to some Best Western.
Well, I wasn't talking about a Best Western. I was saying a Four Seasons.
When was the last time you stayed at a Four Seasons?
I've never actually stayed at.
You only stay at oh my God. We went to the Final Four.
No, let's not tell this story.
We went to the Final Four in 2010 or 2011, one of the two. It was in Charlotte. So we did a trip. We went down, and then we rented a car. So we went to the first 2 days of the tournament in Charlotte. We drove down to Myrtle Beach and played golf. And then we had one extra day where we had to go drive back to Charlotte because we were flying out of Charlotte. So everything was taken care of on the trip. I booked some of the hotels. A friend got the tickets. Someone else booked the car. The one thing Tim had to do was book us a hotel on the last night. And was it a Comfort Inn, a Days Inn?
Listen, I was instructed to find a hotel next to the airport, which is what I did.
Now, he could have got us a hotel at the airport, like a decent hotel. There's 4 of us splitting a room. Like, we could have paid up a little bit for a place that... He got us this place like 10 to 15, like 2 exits before the airport in... I want to say it was a dangerous area. It was
when
not.
When I called them, they said it was near the airport.
And it wasn't particularly near the airport, so that wasn't all that great. There was no shuttle. We couldn't drop off the car, go back to the hotel, and take a shuttle. We had to wait and drive in the morning to go to the airport and drop off the car. This place, no front window. You could smoke in the rooms. And Bates Motel is tough, but there was a big light outside that just shined right through our front the entire night, and no one could sleep except for Tim, who just snored the entire time, so no one else could sleep in it either. But, like, it was the most legit terrifying place I've ever stayed in my life. And, Tim, would you say any differently?
I mean, if I could go back, I would certainly not pick that hotel. There was a lot of mistakes made. Picking a hotel that didn't have curtains in the windows, we got in there. It was a dead ringer giveaway. That it was a bad idea to stay there. But listen, went on Google, because that's what you told me to do. And I Googled airports near Charlotte.
He went to the first place that came up. Didn't
Near
do any
Charlotte
comparison
Hotel,
shopping.
And the first link was there that said hotel near. So I clicked it, got on my phone, called them, said, "You guys have availability?"
Called them too.
Are you near? Well, this was like 2011.
You could still book online in 2011.
Well, I didn't. And so I called them and said, "You're near the airport." Yes. What's the rate? The rate was pretty cheap. So I said, "Yeah, let's do it up." And I booked it and never gave it a second thought. And the heat I took for that was ridiculous. Like, okay, I made a bad call, but I've got to stay here too. It's not like, ha, 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 you guys all have to experience this bad hotel while I, hang out at, the Four Seasons.
He's never been to the Four Seasons.
I've been into Four Seasons, but I've never actually stayed in the room there.
You're a fan of Four Seasons?
I mean, I have always had this fantasy of being wealthy enough to just live in a hotel. Like, not even have an apartment. Just live in a hotel. I think because, you'd have the pool, you'd have the steam room, you'd have the gym.
Nice to live in a luxury hotel.
A-Rap lived at One King West for a year and a half.
Like, your bed sheets would be changed every day. You'd get fresh towels every day. You'd never have to spend a dime on shampoos or soaps because they give you them for free, which is another reason I prefer hotels to Airbnbs, because you can stock up on that stuff when you're at a hotel.
I like that you're there for the free swag. It's not like you walk into an Airbnb and they don't have like legit Head and Shoulders waiting for you.
Yeah, but you can't take it home with you.
I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could.
I stock up.
Cust Corner.
No, I'm not living my truth.
You're constantly living your truth. You couldn't even get an update done on your computer, and then you said it could never be done.
Never fixed.
It could never be updated.
I actually have it all fixed now.
Shocker.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I do.
What was the problem?
The problem was it was already downloaded automatically. I just had to click the button underneath it to launch it.
If people
So I
only
just kept
knew
trying to down.
what was happening 37 minutes ago.
Paul, did you record any of that beforehand?
I always record Tim.
Oh, excellent. Let's take a look at Tim right before we went on air.
No, but hopefully we can get this fixed for next week. I've never seen this. This never happened to Zoom before.
Next time you see Butts, you get him to help you out with it, okay?
No, there's nothing. I tried to look online about it, and there was nothing.
Of course, because it's probably not a real problem.
It's disappearing, and you physically can't. I wish I could send you a video.
Let's start.
Physically can't download Zoom.
Okay, we have to start because Geoff has to go.
Probably a shutdown recently.
I agree, but I think we're going to have to keep doing this from now on because this thing is.
Yeah, it's impossible. It'll never work again. Just ask
Well,
Butts.
maybe my computer.
Can you just please ask Butts next time you see him?
Nope.
Why?
I will not.
Why? He will be able to fix this for you.
No, he can't. He tried to use Bluetooth on my computer. We were over at his place. He's like, your computer is not Bluetooth accessible for some reason.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
You don't sound fine.
I'm pissed that this thing doesn't work.
So you're now admitting that it can be done, Tim?
I certainly hope if there was any profanity there, it was bleeped out.
I will go back and bleep out your profanity. You were very upset about it.
What's also
Well, I was annoyed. I knew there was something on my end I was doing. Something on my end was wrong, and I couldn't figure it out. So now I've got it up. Now I'm now watching
Here's
like
the
I usually
thing.
do while I'm talking here on the phone.
You said you unequivocally were beyond confident that a mutual friend would have been able to resolve it in 10 seconds. It would have been resolved in 2 seconds. The fact that Tim realized what was wrong. But he was adamant that there was no fix.
Cust Corner.
I call them weekend warriors, not Johnny come latelys.
Oh, weekend warriors at the mall. I'm sorry. Have you been to the mall lately though? To see these people out in
I was
there?
there Monday.
They're on your turf now. So what happens then? Like, do you give them the side eye? Does your mall walking group get very upset and then have to sit down because they've been standing up for more than 30 seconds?
No, it's one of these things where it's a necessary evil because these people, in part, although they don't know it, are keeping the mall going year round by all the money and attention they spend this time of year. So it's sort of like if you are a member at Pebble Beach, every 5 years you just accept I got to give up my course for 3 weeks or a month for the U.S. Open because that helps drive interest into the thing, or some other municipal. It's just one of those things where it's annoying at the time, but in the long run is good for everybody.
The mall only exists because of this time of year.
It is. It's where they go into the black. If they didn't have people going to the mall, if they had a bunch of hipster millennials all going to the Amazon and the Roku or whatever they're doing and buying all their stuff. What? Why are you laughing? The mall wouldn't exist if everyone was buying everything on the internet.
They're going
Everything
to
can't be all iTunes and Amazon that. People have to go to the brick and mortar stores in order to keep the malls in business.
If there's one thing I always do, it's I go to the Rokus to get my gifts.
What's Roku, Tim?
I don't know. It's like something like iTunes, or I've heard Pat say it before. It's like one of those. I assume it's like an offshoot of like Amazon or I don't actually. I actually have no idea. I just assume it was like Amazon or one of those other online stores.
It's not even close.
Okay, well then whatever. My point still stands that if everybody bought everything on the internet, the malls wouldn't exist. So that's why you just have to smile and nod and accept that this time of year it's going to be busy.
Have you seen, because around Christmas time, we always get the pop-up stores in the mall. They're very seasonal. They'll sell stolen jewelry and stuff like that at
or Hickory Farms.
Sure. Is there anything like that you've noticed?
Yeah, I mean the usual ones that come up all the time, the Calendar Club stores where they sell the calendars. Or, like I said, Hickory Farms, where you can get some Christmas centric, spice meat and cheese packs or whatever it is that they sell. Yeah, there's a few of those, but not as many this year, I think, as years past.
Cust Corner.
Picking a hotel that didn't have curtains in the windows, we got in there. It was a dead ringer giveaway. That was a bad idea to stay there. But listen, went on Google because that's what you told me to do. And I Googled airports near Charlotte.
You went to the first place that came up. Didn't
Near
do any
Charlotte
comparison
Hotel,
shopping.
And the first link was there that said hotel near. So I clicked it, got on my phone, called them, said, "You guys have availability?"
Called them too.
Are you near? Well, this was 2011.
You can still book online in 2011.
Well, I didn't. And so I called them and said, "You're near the airport." Yes. What's the rate? The rate was pretty cheap. So I said, "Yeah, let's do it up." And I booked it and never gave it a second thought. And the heat I took for that was ridiculous. Okay, I made a bad call, but I've got to stay here too. It's not like, ha, you guys all have to experience this bad hotel while I, hang out at, the Four Seasons.
He's never been to the Four Seasons.
I've been into Four Seasons, but I've never actually stayed in a room there.
You're a fan of Four Seasons?
I mean, I have always had this fantasy of being wealthy enough to just live in a hotel. Not even have an apartment. Just live in a hotel. I think because you'd have the pool, you'd have the steam room, you'd have the gym.
Nice to live in a luxury hotel.
A-Rap lived at One King West for a year and a half.
Your bed sheets would be changed every day. You'd get fresh towels every day. You'd never have to spend a dime on shampoos or soaps because they give you them for free. Which is another reason I prefer hotels to Airbnbs, because you can stock up on that stuff when you're at a hotel.
I like that you're there for the free swag. It's not like you walk into an Airbnb and they don't have legit Head and Shoulders waiting for you.
Yeah, but you can't take it home with you.
I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could.
I stock up. So anyway,
So you're incapable of doing your own laundry. You're incapable of cooking. You're incapable of basically doing anything around the house. So you need people to go do it for
And
you.
we're supposed to assume he returns home with like 8 bars of soap.
Apparently
When I
he
came
does.
back from the
Sorry, I was
Super Bowl
getting
in Minneapolis,
comfortable.
You can just move it close to you and be comfortable.
No, I was just I was chaise lounging.
Cust Corner.
So those little lines don't actually like mimic, or they don't actually like match up with your voice. Like I thought they were like, okay.
With what?
Like I thought when I spoke, that was the reverberations of my voice on the screen.
You thought that the screen was actually mimicking your voice?
Yes, I did actually. Those lines I thought moved when I spoke. Like I thought those were in tandem with. Thought it was like registering my voice.
How do you think technology works like that?
Well, I'm sure like.
And why did he only recognize that?
Oh my god, when you go to like sporting events and they do like the loudness meter at the game,
Yeah.
do you think that's really registering like decibels? That's not just a computer
It
graphic?
is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
That's how like stadiums like the loudest. Like that's
Oh.
how Arrowhead like gets the record for loudest stadium.
No, that's
It's
all.
like
No, you know when they show you the meter and it's like, hey, get loud, and like the people
Yeah.
cheer louder and it goes up. Yeah, that's not real, Tim. That's all fake news.
Well, some are.
No, they aren't.
The ones I've seen, I thought. were.
No. Yeah. Apparently, you don't know anything.
I know things.
You don't
They're
know.
just all-
things. You don't know.
all just
Apparently,
totally-
you don't know things. When you were on Hollywood Celebrities, what do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out. We found out. You don't know things.
Has he been triggered before because they gave a different
I do know
section,
things.
the loudest section?
Yeah, like
He
I
thought
mean,
that his section was loud.
you can register the decibels, but that's like some dude with like however you measure decibels with like a thing. It has nothing to do with like the graphic that you see when they're measuring it to be louder.
Oh, see, now I thought that was connect. All right, well, I was wrong. I thought it was connected to like the sound that you make at the stadium. It registers on that thing.
This is almost as bad as your take of when you left the TV on because you thought it affected ratings.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that only like Nielsen families got that. I thought like everyone's TV registered for ratings. See, I used to like I'd go out for the afternoon, but I don't want my shows being canceled or whatever.
Cust Corner.
Guess what we discovered? We recorded the Christmas Cust Corner yesterday. It's like an hour and 40 something minutes.
What'd you get?
So that's my present to all of you for Christmas Day is a new Cust Corner. But Tim,
Give me something.
Tim
to
told
get
us
mad at him about.
he's back on the scratch tickets.
You should buy one of those like packs that have like. Really, Tim? Back on them?
Well, one. I bought one 2 Sundays ago when I was picking up my pro lines, and I ended up winning $20 on it.
Hey,
so.
good for you. Listen, you by
He is
the way,
a pro scratch ticket player.
I want to talk about this because you cut it.
You need to cut it.
Because you cut it and you've already teased it. You are crazy when you think like your grocer's freezer is the restaurant, man.
That's in the Cust Corner.
Yeah, I saw you cut that preview clip out. Sort of tease people for Christmas Day is coming. You're nuts.
But that's how he's judging TGI Fridays is based on their potato skins that he found at the grocery store in the what he calls the freezer section.
I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to defend Fridays. I'm not here to do that either. But
No, Fridays doesn't need to be defended. It's not good.
Yeah.
But to judge it that way seems very disingenuous.
If the food can't be replicated to the point where it can't be sent out with the same ingredients, same flavors that you heat up, if it's not good, then it's not good. I'm sorry. I think it's not a 1-for-1 comparison, but it's within spitting distance.
no, I
It's
don't
close.
think what they're serving in the restaurant has freezer burn.
Also, how did you prepare and cook the potato skins, Tim?
Don't
I
say
put
it.
them in the microwave.
Oh God! And like, come on!
Well, I was hungry. I didn't have time to put them in the stove.
See, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt and ask him if he cooked them in the oven or not, which, a sensible person bringing stuff home would, which is also not how you get them at TGI Fridays. They throw them in the fucking deep fryer.
No, that's true. That's fair enough.
Oh,
but anyway.
man.
They definitely don't microwave their frozen potato skins.
Well, but listen, sometimes you're in a hurry and you put your
Is
your
anyone in
potato
that
skin
big of a
or
hurry?
your nachos or your chicken wings or whatever, you put them in the microwave.
Oh,
and
no,
you're
no,
done.
no. Don't put your
Can I ask
nachos
a
in the
question?
microwave.
Yeah, that's gross too. But He always
you end up with the cheese that's not like melted on. It's like
why you
fused on.
Why you always seem to be in a hurry?
Yeah, we've as we discovered on this to preview that Cust Corner, Tim spends most of his time standing in lines. Because he has so much fucking free time on his hands. He's actually talking right now, but he's 80 feet away from his computer.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Are you get mad at like the lady at the front of the line who has questions when you're just
no, because no one has more questions than Tim.
Yeah, but Tim's
No,
got
I actually don't mind unless I'm like in a real rush. Then whatever. Then I'll just like I've got earphones in. I'm listening to whatever. Like let them take their time. I'm not like the world doesn't revolve around me.
Here's the thing: if you're in such a rush that you have to go to the grocery store to buy potato skins from TGI Fridays, and you have such little time that you then have to drive home to microwave them, why wouldn't you just go to like McDonald's?
No, but like it's not like I ate them the same day or anything. I bought them because
You thought this out in advance. You thought, hey, that looks good. I don't know where you make that leap to begin with, but
I walked down the freezer aisle. I saw them. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen those before. I'm buying them. And I throw them in my shopping cart, and then I put them in my freezer. And then one day I opened up when I was hungry. And I was like, I'll have these. And I didn't want to wait, so I just threw them in the microwave because I was hungry.
Do they even have microwave? Like, are they? They're not probably not even supposed to be microwave.
Yeah, are there instructions on the bag? As here's how you cook them in the microwave.
I have no idea. This was a few years ago. I just fired them in the microwave.
Yeah, no. Some things are. They say like, you know, the oven is probably better, but if you want the microwave, this is how.
It's like mini pizzas, right? Where they have recommendations.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't put mini pizzas in the microwave either.
I put those in the oven.
You
They're
get
just
soggy
gross.
in the microwave. Yeah, you get to crisp them up.
Yeah, you gotta crisp them.
They are better in the oven. I've had them both ways.
I'll wait it out.
Hungry I am, but if you can wait, they are better.
No, they're just like smoking hot and like flimsy when you put them in the.
Yeah, they're real soggy. Did you also see that Tim was out on cookie dough? Who's out on cookie dough?
For a long time. I've been out on that for a long time.
That seems crazy to me.
It's supposed to be cooked. That's why it's called dough, because it's raw. I don't eat raw eggs. You know, I don't eat steak tartare.
Hold on. What's wrong with steak tartare?
I don't like raw foods. I like foods that are cooked. God forbid that I like.
So you're just completely out on sushi too?
I despise sushi.
Have you ever had sushi?
I have indeed, and did not like it. Yes, I have.
You actually? Because I don't believe you.
Of course I have. Of course I have. Because it's a fad, and everyone goes on about how great sushi is.
Is sushi a fad?
Oh yes, it's become okay. Well, it seems like to me it's become a fad. And I was like, I like fish, so I said,
is
I'll
that
try
like
it.
Chinese food a fad?
No, Chinese food is a staple
to you. Sushi is the staple for other people. People love sushi.
I get that people love sushi. I cannot stand it. I think it's gross. I like cooked food, and so cookie dough for me is one of the. When I was growing up, I could never have cookie dough.
I'm all in on cookie dough. It's one of the few things that like I will allow myself to really splurge on when it comes to.
No,
like,
I was
diet.
when I was young. I was not allowed to touch the dough. I had to wait till it was cooked.
We also found out on this corner that Tim hasn't evolved past the age of 6. Whatever he did when he was 6, he does now. He has not updated himself with the times whatsoever. That's why he's still wearing like bell bottoms.
I think my wardrobe is updated, but I'm very much like a 10-year-old man-child.
Really? You're a father.
I know, but like the foods I like, the things I like.
Do you and your daughter bond about your similar diets?
No, but I'll hit up. Love being able to hit up that kids menu. It's usually got all the things I like on it.
My wife still does the kids menu too. She doesn't want a big meal.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your go-to McDonald's order?
Depends how like hungry.
Let's say you're hungry. Let's say you just smoked a big fat joint.
No, like I'm really hungry.
Yeah, like you demand food right now. You're starving,
like
and not only are you starving, you're in the mood for McDonald's.
It'd be like a 10 nugget meal and a cheeseburger.
Okay, I would go 10 nugget meal as well. No pop because I don't like
the buns on those cheeseburgers. I don't know.
I do the junior chicken.
It's the same.
Along with I get a side of junior chicken, the 10-piece supersized nugget meal, and I'm good to go. Yeah. Sometimes I'll get 2 junior chickens.
So I'm very specific. For me, it's a McDouble, no ketchup, a McChicken, extra McChicken sauce, a medium fries, and a fountain pop with a small fries to eat in the car on the way home.
Sorry, so why didn't you just say a McChicken meal with a double cheeseburger?
I guess I don't order it that way.
But you just
I suppose-
ordered every part of the meal.
He's probably ordering them all
guess-
independently too and paying more.
I guess that would be a McChicken, junior chicken meal, with a McDouble on the side. Oh, and I used to not get the junior chicken. That because
He said McChicken. Now he gets.
Sorry, I
confused.
meant to say junior chicken. But I didn't used to get the junior chicken before. I used to go with 2 of the crispy chicken wraps, but they had to be buffalo ones, and they got rid of the buffalo ones, and all they have is ranch ones left. And ranch is, of course, a trash dressing that only can be enjoyed by nobody. It's because it's garbage. So I won't eat the ranch ones, and the chipotle ones are too sweet. And so I'm like, I can't eat the crispy chicken wraps anymore. And so I had to substitute those for a junior chicken. So,
quick tip to anyone looking to drop like 10 to 15 pounds
Yeah, I'm
real
listening.
quickly.
Cut out McDonald's.
No. McDonald's is fine. Everything in moderation is fine.
Yeah.
Fountain pop will kill you.
Well, pop in general.
Pop in general, yes. Fountain pop
the
is
Fountain
like
Coke in
5.
McDonald's is so good.
It's
Fountain
the
pop-
best pop.
Fountain,
in
pop,
the
is,
so
fountain
good.
pop is disgusting.
No, it's the
It's
better.
syrup
the
and
Coke at
water.
McDonald's
You
is
might.
so good.
By the way, you want
It's
to mimic.
crack.
You want to mimic fountain pop at home.
Yeah.
Pour a can of Coke into a glass. Go hit up Aunt Jemima and just pour it in.
No, I get
That's
it.
what it is.
It's like they've liquefied sugar.
Yeah.
Is essential. Like
That's exactly what it is.
The-
They add a
yeah.
little bit of water to expand it. Like it's actually calorie-wise, it's like 5 times as worse for you.
I would
and
tell
the
you
sugar
this.
content is out of control.
McDonald's ketchup, I think, might be the same because it seems like
yeah.
exponentially
Now, ketchup is
saltier.
also
but
a
it's,
terrible condiment.
McDonald's sauce, top notch.
oh, the
Oh, yeah,
sweet-
their
the
McChicken sauce is
Barbecue,
great.
sweet and sour, even their honey. It's all the extra sugar that's in it. But their ketchup
Their
is top
syrup
notch.
that I put on their hotcakes, man, their syrup is fantastic.
What's your go-to breakfast order? Or do you say, screw that, give me the meal? Because you can order breakfast any time. Have you ever ordered breakfast at any time? Because I haven't.
when I like it first
When it
came
first
out,
came out,
it
you
was
were all
like a thing
gung-ho,
like,
but have
yeah,
you ever walked into
yeah.
McDonald's at like
Not really.
drunk at 1 o'clock in the
Because I
morning and be
did
like,
like
"Ah, give me
one
some
time-
hash browns?
No, but like I think like the second, like the first time they did it, yada yada, and then I had like an egg McMuffin at like 3 p.m, and it tasted like it'd been sitting in the drawer since.
Of
Because it
course
hasn't.
it has.
I guarantee that's how
morning.
Tim likes it, though.
So
Has it been
no,
sitting
like-
around for 8
so I
hours?
actually, like, I have not since that. I'm like, you know what? Like, I respect what they're trying to do, but they're not putting the effort into these products, and they're not getting sold enough. Like, at least like the nuggets, like they sell enough where that trays they gotta like fresh batch them. You know what I'm
Their
saying?
hotcakes and sausage are great. I grew up on
Listen,
Sundays.
I've said this
having
to sit.
McDonald's hotcakes.
Tim thinks McDonald's is the best pancakes in the world. I said this
They're
to him
so
last
good.
year.
But he also loves IHOP, but not for the pancakes.
My response to thinking McDonald's have the best pancakes in the world makes me think like you haven't been loved enough. Someone who no, I'm just saying. I don't know how
Someone who loves you would cook you better pancakes than I.
yeah.
We go to a French place for brunch during non-football season because I'm no brunch on a Sunday morning type man.
I hate those.
In fact,
places.
oh man, they're so good.
No, but like you see
They're
these
awful.
lines and the
Oh yeah, the
people
lines
in
are out of
the
control. You need to
lines.
pick the right day to go. But they make excellent blueberry. I mean, you can get crepes or pancakes. I like pancakes, so I get the pancakes. But getting blueberry pancakes with the side they make some sort of like duck mash that you can have with potatoes and ducks too. It's out of this
The
world.
concept of brunch I absolutely love, but I hate like
I don't.
lining up and like the whole like
I don't do lines.
scene.
Unlike Tim,
that
I'm
is
very
like
anti-line.
and
I
a
don't
lot
go
of-
to
but you know
anywhere
what I
that
mean,
has
like
a line.
in this city where we live. Like, is it
Yeah, there are places that you can go that have lines. We just don't go there. We go to somewhere
Okay,
else.
good.
It's still breakfast when it comes down to it. I don't need to wait an hour to get in for brunch. I'm hungry
No.
now.
Okay,
Breakfast
well,
is breakfast. Lunch is lunch. I don't need the mixture.
What's better to you, Burger King or Wendy's?
Wendy's.
Yeah, it's not
not
close,
even
right?
close. Like not even close.
I hate to admit it, but it is Wendy's.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Burger
Burger
King. Burger
King.
King
No.
is Burger King the nut low?
Yeah, it is. It is the absolute nut low. Okay, we don't have like I wouldn't even try it. White Castle's apparently like the nuttest low.
Yeah, but Tim,
They are sliders because I used to buy them at 7-Eleven. I could pop those in the microwave.
that's not
and
going to White Castle. You're microwaving frozen
They
white.
were delicious.
Do you think when you go to White Castle they served you microwave burgers?
I very much doubt that.
Either way,
So you've just never been there.
in Canada it is the nut low. Because
Is
we
it?
don't
I mean,
we
think
don't have a
it
lot
looks
of the lower end fast food chains like that are in America.
Yes.
It's kind of my point. That
like-
they'll-
worse than Arby's.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
can
like
be-
Arby's.
I don't like Arby's, but if I'm feeling especially bad about myself, I can have an Arby's.
I like Arby's. Unfortunately,
Get a
there's
big-
not
big-
one.
I
there
will take
is
a
not-
big beef and cheddar over anything that they
There is
have.
not
thing
an
about Burger King is
Arby's
that their Whopper
within.
is good.
There's not an
I don't
Arby's
give a
within an
fuck.
hour of us.
Also, the problem with Arby's, the reason it's so low in general is like the cheese whiz they put on the burgers, which is just disgusting.
And it's
Oh, I don't
gross,
mind
but
that.
I think
Of course you
Whiz.
don't.
I think Whiz is one of the more underrated condiments
Oh,
that enough
oh.
places aren't
Oh,
putting
no,
into
no,
action.
no.
When I
There
said
was
I
a
use it
burger
now-
chain.
No,
There was a burger
Fuck
chain
that.
in the States, Fuddruckers, that like you could pump your Whiz.
Oh,
I love that
That does-
shit.
no wonder
That
everyone's
does sound-
fat in
That
America.
does sound good.
That's why me and Tim are large, man. We're into
I am
pumping
willing to
Whiz.
assert though. I think Arby's is worse because much as I don't like Burger King, I think their Whopper holds up. Nothing else there
Okay,
does.
maybe.
Is there
I think
is
the
their
Whopper-
Whopper good enough that you would go to Burger King just to get a Whopper?
No, but if you're asking
They
me what's the
they
worst,
like give nuggets away, Pat.
Yeah, like
They're
99
10
cents
for
for
a
20.
toonie and shit. You're like,
That's great.
I
So
wouldn't touch
there's a
that.
bur-
I wouldn't
so
touch
there's a
that. And their
burger-
sauces suck. They can't
There's a
even
Burger King
disguise
near,
the
like-
bad nugget. Their shit
there's
sauce.
a bunch of like chain restaurants in a row nearby, and like so there's Burger King and there's all of them, and Burger King always had ads like coffee $1, and the McDonald's line is long, and the Tim Hortons line is long, and there is nobody going through Burger King,
Yeah.
and like they have big like really good deals, like. And yet, I wonder. Now that we're mentioning it, do you think A&W is worse than?
No.
No,
I-
A&W's
I-
actually might be on the higher
I was gonna say
end
of
of fast food.
underrated fast food places. A&W is on there.
It seems like they're making an effort to sort of
Class up
be
their act.
a higher
Also-
end with how they
And
advertise
Harvey's-
their
and-
ingredients.
above them?
And there's, you know what?
A&W good breakfast.
Yeah, better
Cheap,
hash
good
brown
breakfast.
too. I saw this as a tease thing. I cannot stand the plastic, the paper straw. I'm losing my mind. I'm
Oh,
losing
they're
my
awful.
mind.
I'm gonna get Tim a metal straw for Christmas so he can bring it around with him.
Awful.
Honestly, maybe because
He's told us he's hoarding straws.
I think about it. Maybe I might have to go to.
How often are you using straws?
Not enough. I guess when I have
When they're gone, you'll wish you had more.
these, I had A&W, and they're one of these like earth conscious places.
Okay.
And they're onto paper straw, and it like evaporates in your
It's
your
awful.
drink. It is no. I
I
can't.
think Harvey's might be lower than
Harvey's is
No.
like a very regionalized Canadian burger
Yeah.
chain. Like that's not on the same level here.
Nothing. It's not lower than Burger King. There's not a chance.
Okay, all right.
But A&W, I think, has done a good rebranding job. Is A&W
Yeah.
everywhere, or is that
They've
just
kind of spent a fortune to show up everywhere, at least in this city.
no? Is A&W?
No.
It's everywhere, like in the world, right?
Yes, but they're different.
I could just be Canadian. I have no
I
idea.
think it's mainly
No, they
Canadian.
do exist in the States, but they're a different type of chain there. Like they had an AW at the Mall of America when we were there,
Did
and
they?
I scoped it out, and like it seemed like the burgers didn't have the same names as the ones we have here. Like they weren't the family burgers.
And I can't lie, I can't wait to be in Florida around Christmas because I need to hit up some of those fast food joints. I need Chick-fil-A.
What would be
in
your
my
for
life.
you? Chick-fil-A would be.
Well,
Tim,
when I go to-
Tim hates Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, and he also
somehow.
hates In-N-Out because he's an idiot.
He's also never been to In-N-Out.
Because he
I don't
doesn't
eat
like that other people like it who have been there. So he
Yes,
just has to
so
hate
he
it.
hates it.
What a weird concept. Oh, I'm hungry.
If you're going to the South, go to Waffle House.
Waffle House is great.
The last
Did you
time, the
get
last time Tim and I were at a Waffle House together, and I had to go pass out in the parking lot because I ate too much. I asked.
I'm a big fan of grits.
I was trying to get. They asked me if I wanted hash browns. They serve like it's not like the McDonald's hash
Yeah,
browns.
it's
like
like
the
a
hash.
potato hash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, do you want the medium, the large, or the small? I was like, just give me a small. I don't want much, man. It was like the entire plate full of hash browns. It was ridiculous. Great value. Cam would love
Man,
Waffle House.
Man. Yeah, that was a good conversation.
Cust Corner.
So Halloween has become a important part of this show and the sort of connections that this show has made with the fans. Last year I put out a definitive listing of the best Halloween candy, and I would say of all the lists I put out, that had the best in terms of like SEO value response of any of the
You still don't quite understand SEO value, do you?
it
But
had the best-
besides having Googled what it actually means, like SEO, you have no idea what it is, do you?
it had search engine optimization.
But then why would you think that your tweet would do well with this?
I don't know, but it definitely, I think it had the best response rate of any tweet I had. So
it did. You did get pretty ratio. That's true.
Oh well, whatever. But I figured since this is the last show before Halloween that we're recording, that I would come up with another Halloween themed list, and it would be the best Halloween themed movies. Now,
hold on. I want to go back to the Halloween candy list in case people missed it. The show is bigger than it was 1 year ago. So, Tim, your definitive rankings, if you would like to update them, of the best candies at Halloween. Coming in, Jeff, at number 1, candy corn. Number 2, that pumpkin-shaped candy that's a marshmallow that people use as doorstops. Also commonly seen as peanuts other time of the year that are marshmallows.
Amazing.
Okay. Peeps, number 2, or number 3, which are not a Halloween candy, just a candy.
But they are when they're jack-o'-lantern shaped.
Molasses Kiss is number 4.
Those are sometimes called a Halloween kiss or a witch's kiss. Those things are I had one today after my coffee. I bought some. They were on sale. The fact they were on sale before Halloween was actually kind of disconcerting. But anyway, I bought them. I had them. They're fantastic and good for you.
Good for you, are they?
Yeah, it's just molasses. It's like not refined sugar in the same way that.
Yeah, I'm gonna launch an investigation on the health benefits of molasses kisses after this. Cookies and cream, and then everyone's favorite on your best candy list, Tim, raisins.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the grocery store last week and saw the bags of the Sun-Made raisins in the red boxes, and I thought that's the surest sign that Halloween has arrived, because people are buying their raisins to give out as gifts. For trick-or-treaters. Look, they're great. They're healthy. They're delicious. They don't weigh down your bag as much as other things do, so there's a great ratio of deliciousness to weight when you're carrying around your trick-or-treat bag. They're a great treat. The gloss sets
What
with the
weighs down the bag?
But people used to give out the cans of pop. You like the pop, but it weighed the bag down
What
too much.
psychopath gave out cans of pop?
It happens. It happens.
Or mini sips. Again, they just weigh down the bag too much.
Yeah, you don't want liquids. You don't want to be getting liquids. But now you're saying like Glossette raisins and stuff like that. That's not what your point was. Your point was that like to get like the Sun-Kissed little red box of raisins.
Glossette ones are not as good.
What?
You don't want them.
You don't think the chocolate-covered raisins are better than the actual raisins?
My goodness.
If raisins can compare up to Halloween candy, why aren't you just eating raisins a year long? Which you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I like to mix them into my plain yogurt.
Such a fucking lie.
I do. I like to mix a handful into my plain yogurt.
Oh, did you know that Tim is eating millennial Icelandic yogurt these days?
I don't know what makes it millennial. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah, millennials love it, though. Millennials and hipsters both love plain, untasty yogurt.
I don't just buy the plain one, but yes, I have been buying the plain one. It's great. And I like to put a handful of raisins in the bowl. It's delicious.
Jeff, when you wake up in the morning, do you say to yourself, after you get your daughter off, did she go to school yet? She goes to school?
Whatever. I guess, what would you even call?
Like preschool? That kind of thing?
Maybe before that.
You get your daughter off to preschool, and you're thinking, what should I do with my morning? And you're like, you know what I'll do? I'll have some thick Icelandic yogurt, plain, dump in some raisins, and I'm off to a good...
so good.
I'm kicking off the day.
It's delicious.
He also puts lard into it as well.
I do not.
So
the Icelandic yogurt's really good. Yeah, raisins are great. They're a great Halloween treat. I would encourage you to buy them and give them out at Halloween.
Things Tim doesn't like: Sour Patch Kids, little packs of Sour Patch Kids.
Who
doesn't love Sour Patch Kids?
I don't like sour kids.
Yeah, he hates like sour keys.
Oh, you know what he wouldn't have loved? Warheads. Remember Warheads?
I didn't like Warheads. No.
Too sour for you?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like Rockets or those candy necklaces.
Rockets aren't even sour. Rockets
Sometimes
are just
no.
Rockets are not at all.
He's talking about
Sweethearts.
sweet tarts.
Those are Sweethearts are awful.
Sweet tarts are different. Rockets
Those are also delicious.
I believe they call them something else in America. I believe they call them Smarties in America. Smarties are something different in Canada, but what we call Rockets.
Rockets are gross, though.
Yeah, here
they're
Smarties
not
are
good,
better.
But they're not sour.
Here Smarties are a better version of M&Ms.
No, that is not true. Would you go that far, Jeff?
What do I like better, Smarties or
M&Ms?
I think M&Ms.
M&Ms are way better.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's fake.
I'll hit up the store the day after.
I would rather get a regular...
November 1st is a great day.
I would rather get a regular bag of chips, non-branded chips, than half the shit on Tim's candy list.
Agreed.
That's because you have bad taste in Halloween candy.
No.
I mean, from the response that you got from this last year, Tim, you said it's been a big response for you when you put this out. How many people do you think agreed with you on this list? 0%?
Yeah, it wasn't 0. I have a built-in 4% support for no matter what.
No, those how many bot accounts is your
Yeah, so you have 37 burner accounts, so take those votes out of the equation.
Then you're down 1.5.
I would say it was 85-15 negative.
His problem is his basis for this list is he gets confidence probably from the old people he goes on mall walks with.
Yeah.
These are the things that I like.
They pump his tires.
Tim is the kind of person, when he moves out of his millennial loft that overlooks a lake, which he rails against constantly, yet lives the lifestyle of a hipster millennial, that at least what he claims to be a millennial, which probably isn't true. Either way, when he gets his own house and starts giving out candy, and kids start coming by, his windows are going to be broken, eggs everywhere. You will have the house that gets toilet papered. You know that.
No,
right?
I won't give out the stuff. But the stuff I like the best to keep for me, that's the good stuff. They can have the overrated, the Coffee Crisp bars and the Mars bars and those Snickers and the O. Henrys. They can have that stuff if they like them. The little bags of cheesies. Have at it. I'm keeping the candy corn and the little pumpkins and the Peeps and the raisins for me.
Well, I mean, that would completely flip the entire scenario. It sounds like a great house to go to, giving out all the best candy.
Yeah, and again, Kit Kats are great, but don't break your Kit Kats in half, people. Be civilized. Take a bite out of the corner.
So what was this list you came up with this time?
So, top 10 Halloween-themed movies. A lot of people say Christmas has got the best movie. We did a whole show a couple of years ago on Christmas movies, blah, blah, blah.
And we came what did we come to the conclusion that Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is the best Christmas movie?
That was your opinion.
Which it is.
One.
It's not even controversial. That's indisputable.
So I think Halloween movies are as good as Christmas movies, if not slightly better. I don't think they get the credit. But I will say I think most of the series, for example, Halloween, I don't like pretty much any of them. Or Saw, I don't like pretty much any of them.
Do they scare you too much?
So none of them are making my list.
What? Your number one's going to be fucking Ernest Scared Stupid, isn't it?
Oh, God. See, now you've ruined it. I was going to start at the worst and get to the best, and now you've just given it away. So now I'll go from top to bottom.
You're the most predictable person in the world.
So yes,
check out these shows.
Number one is Ernest Scared Stupid. It is the most terrifying movie I have ever seen. The first time I saw it, I was legit frightened.
What are you more terrified of?
Oh God!
Are you more terrified of Ernest Scared Stupid or peacocks?
I am more afraid of peacocks. But the first time, and I bet didn't you say you felt the same way when we talked about this once, that the first time you saw Ernest Scared Stupid was a terrifying experience?
Yes. No. Listen, I absolutely agree with you. Those little troll things in Ernest Scared Stupid scared the living shit out of me. Also, I was 6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of the Halloween genre. Is when you were a young kid, what were the movies that scared you? So anyway, number 1, Ernest Scared Stupid. Number 2, The Exorcist, classic.
You put Ernest Scared Stupid over The Exorcist.
Yes, I did, in terms of what I think are the best Halloween movies. Number 3, Donnie Darko. I think that is a very underrated. I think it's a movie people don't talk about much anymore. But I think
do you know why people don't talk about it? Because Donnie Darko, secret terrible movie.
Well, maybe, but I think this Halloween, maybe you should pop that in the...
No, I'm never watching Donnie Darko again. You know who loves Donnie Darko? Moron stoners.
You know what? It's not a bad movie.
No, it's a bad movie.
Number 4, Blair Witch Project. Very, very... a movie that a lot of people panned when it came out because it wasn't scary, blah, blah, blah. Upon rewatch, it's better than most people think it was. I have it at number 4. Number 5, Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's a classic. You can't go wrong with it. I mean, it just is a Halloween movie par excellence. Number 6, Scream, the original Scream. It's just about the perfect scary movie.
But Scream isn't scary. It's a parody of horror movies.
Yeah, but in and of itself, it becomes a horror movie. It becomes scary. Yeah, you're right.
I like Scream, but it's saying it's what you're essentially doing outside of The Exorcist, which is legitimately scary. None of these are scary movies. Ernest Scared Stupid isn't scary. It's scary to children.
Okay, I still think it's a terrifying movie.
You're also scared of fucking peacocks. You're a nutcase.
Blair Witch Project's a terrifying movie.
It's not, though. It was at the time when it came out, 1998. When I was 12, I was super freaked out by Blair Witch Project.
I still think it's scary. Number 7, the Amityville Horror, but the Michael Bay version. That's the good version, not the other one. I feel very strongly. Michael Bay is a very underrated director. He does a great job.
Oh my God.
He is. Number 8. Let's see, it's getting dark.
Are you going to do a Transformers movie ranking at some point?
Number 8 is Carrie, but that's the Ryan De Palma, the original version of Carrie. Not Stephen King's best story or book, of course, but one of the very best and one of the most terrifying. Number 9, the Johnny Depp version of Sleepy Hollow, a classic.
That's a bad movie.
You know what? It's pretty good.
No, it's not. You can't just pass it off these shitty movies as, they're pretty good. They're not.
I like it.
They're bad.
10, number 10, Rosemary's Baby, a classic.
Shouldn't Rosemary's Baby be inside the top 3 in this?
No, I think it's a classic horror film, but I'm not putting it above these. But DFL, and I feel very strongly about this, is The Nightmare Before Christmas. That movie is trash. It should never have been made. It is not enjoyable. I despise that flick. I will never watch it again. It doesn't even know if it's a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie, which in and of itself is enough reason to throw it out. It's a bad movie. But anyway, that's soup to nuts, the definitive ranking of Halloween movies.
I can't believe you had Donnie Darko at number 4 on this list, and Nightmare Before Christmas is dead last.
That's a terrible movie.
It's not a terrible movie. It's fine.
No, it is.
I don't like it as much as others, but it's a fine movie. This list is just horrible. It's not even worth discussing.
Cust Corner.
Well, just tell the viewers what you told us before we came onto the air.
See, part of the reason I brought it up before we went on the air, so we wouldn't have to talk about it on the show. I got a Christmas card today from a relative who doesn't watch the show, doesn't know anything about the show. And so, I just opened the card and Doug the pug was on the front. And I was flabbergasted. I can't escape him. Everywhere I turn. There's Homer. There's Homer too.
We got a lot of Doug behind Geoff now, just to make you mad.
I had to spend time at a holiday party defending Tim's intelligence.
Before coming up to you?
Well, because, friends of mine that, watch, they pay attention, and in, the samples, or even if you just watching, if I retweet, stuff that you might have clipped.
You mean the clips? The clips are never a good look for anyone besides me, if people haven't realized yet.
Obviously. And I'm no, he's got, he's, got a PhD, no. And then, but they go by the things that are put out there.
You mean the things that Tim says? They go by that?
Yeah, real basic elementary things. Like the mute button.
Like the mute button or Doug the Pug? See, if you were the king of pop culture, Tim, like you claim to be, you would be on Christmas cards.
I'll say this, in defense of Tim, I abstained from the poll.
We have the one on the I'll say this counter. That's a new thing that people do. They have a drinking game for it now.
Okay. That'll be the last one.
You think so, huh?
I abstained on the poll of is he the Tribune of the People or a pathological liar? Because I don't think he's either.
Pathological liar won 67% to 33%.
Those
are your only two choices.
I would say Tim polling 33 is 7 times higher than his highest score on a poll.
Well, usually if he gets 5% of a poll, he claims that as a win. So is this a big win for you, Tim?
I didn't participate in the poll. I only saw the poll vicariously through Geoff. Whatever. I consider a victory anytime that I don't get overwhelmed because you send all your people against me to vote down the polls.
I don't send anyone. The only thing rigging the polls are your myriad burner accounts.
I don't have any burner accounts.
Come on, Tim. We already know that.
I don't have any.
I do like that Gentle Aquafit's Twitter account has really taken to you.
I want to be mad at that fake account, but at the same time, it's kind of clever.
Cust Corner.
I would think you should spend your time meditating than buying TGI Fridays potato skins from the frozen section of the grocery
freezer
store.
section, as Tim
Don't
calls
worry
it.
about me ever buying them again because they weren't that good.
But why would you think that would be indicative of what the restaurant is like?
Well, I'm sure they use the same recipes. They use the same ingredients.
Yeah, but they do it
it's not
not
prepared on
frozen
site,
and then recooked.
Well, that's what you think. I bet you there's a lot more frozen aspect going on to the restaurant.
And you think Chili's doesn't do that?
well, but chili stuff when you eat the frozen stuff is still excellent, whereas the TGI Friday stuff wasn't.
Okay, so it sounds like reusable metal straw is still winning this. So reusable metal straw or vegan eggnog?
Oh my god!
What's the main ingredient in vegan eggnog?
What could it be? Just soy or almond milk?
Probably a lot of almond milk.
I actually had some almond milk last night. Disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, almond milk is not good. Ugh. Although it's funny you mentioned eggnog. So
squeeze it on.
I don't know if. So I don't put milk in my coffee or cream in my coffee.
Yeah, because you're not soft. Everyone knows you can only drink coffee one way, black, like the heroes of World War II. Do you think that people were in the trenches fighting the Nazis, getting cream and sugar in their coffee? Not a chance. They lived on black coffee and cigarettes. Greatest generation, Garion.
They were probably drinking tea, not coffee. But yes.
I mean, the Brits were. I'm talking about the Americans here.
Fair enough.
I don't think an American's ever had a cup of tea in his life.
But there's this new trend that I have witnessed of people pouring eggnog into their coffee.
That sounds right up your alley. You're a millennial. You love eggnog.
And so I tried it.
Of course you did.
And it's pretty good. I gotta say, I didn't think it was going to be. I had very low expectations, but it turned out to be like fun. Like I don't like to put like, but like it's sort of a fun way to start your day with like one coffee with a little bit of eggnog in it. It's sort of like a treat.
Cust Corner.
Tim, were you saying earlier that you're mad that I said that I got a cashier's check, and you said you're mad that there's no traveler's checks anymore?
Yes, I'm very. Listen,
Does that trigger you? It sounds like you're triggered.
It doesn't trigger me, but there are a lot of banking institutions that are doing away with traveler's checks, and I think that they are still a useful tool for travelers who don't want to have to worry about credit card theft or loss or having it in some way compromised. They don't want to carry around cash that they can carry because, you might have a lot of cash you're bringing on a trip or something. It's a lot easier to bring along traveler's checks everywhere takes them, everywhere caches them. To me, I mean, that's the reason that they were invented. It's why they still have practical value. And the fact that banks...
It doesn't sound like they have practical value if they're discontinuing them. Why wouldn't you just wouldn't you just use your credit card?
I would prefer to use traveler's checks.
Why? Why do you prefer to get things that don't give you points?
I don't think, firstly, nowadays...
There's so much credit card prevention fraud anyway that if it gets compromised, it's no big deal.
Because I had an incident recently where someone was like buying drones on one of my wife's credit cards.
That was me.
But I'm just saying, like the response by the bank was so comforting, and they were
don't worry about it.
Exactly, like don't worry about it. Well, it's
I'm
not
on
you.
A trip. I don't
Even
want to
before
worry
they
about
did.
that.
I have so now I just have the assurance if you just got to read your statements, lollygag with paying
just
attention.
be on top of what's going on.
But I got no concerns about that. And traveler's checks are so archaic. Like
Tim also still just writes checks. He goes to the bank to balance his bank book, which is just ludicrous. What a waste of time. Like, that's a legit waste of time. You have to deal with those morons at the bank. Oh,
God forbid I take my finances seriously. How dare I?
You don't take your finances seriously because you're still dealing fucking cash. You spend money. If you put it on a card, you get free stuff for using a card. No, and you'd be able to go boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's done. You can even set up direct payments from your phone.
See, I don't want to do that.
Why don't you want to do it? You'd rather waste your time by going into the bank.
Does he have online banking?
No, he doesn't trust online banking.
I do, but I will only do it on my computer. I won't touch it with my phone.
Why? What's the difference?
I don't trust the apps. I trust the security of my computer. I'm not comfortable using my phone for that stuff. They can't make me use my phone yet. I don't want to. I'm one of these people. I like to do things the way I was trained, and the way I was trained was the traditional way. And as long as those opportunities are available for me, that is what I am going to use.
We have a question from the crowd, sir. Yes, what's your question?
It's more of a statement. Tim's the guys from the TD Bank commercial.
You are, yeah. There is a commercial where two people are complaining that the bank is opened on Sundays.
I don't like that either.
Why? What's the difference?
Because banks don't need to be open on Sundays.
Well, some of us actually work, and we can't get to the bank if we ever have to. God forbid you have to go into the bank, which is the single worst experience you can ever have.
I don't mind it.
Well, you have to deal with all like the loser financial planners at the bank and talk to them. If you knew what you were doing financially, you wouldn't work for the fucking bank.
as someone you can talk to as you walk in. Like,
Well,
come on.
that's a separate question.
That's like lowest of the low financial planner. That's like, oh, you couldn't graduate from college? Here, you can be a financial planner at the bank. Please sell this policy and you'll make commission. That's how those idiots work. So don't trust them for a second. But the people at the bank are just the worst. The absolute worst people to deal with. All they're trying to do is rook you. And banks in general will try to do that, but at least you don't have to talk to them if you use the online banking. And you can make stuff way more efficient for yourself. You don't need to go in and imagine waiting in a line. People are lined up today in Canada.
Yeah, but Tim probably loves the line.
What do you
and,
mean doing in line? Tim has
talking
all this.
to the, like, the
Tim has
seat-
all this time in the world just to
talking
wait
to
around.
the old lady in front of him and the old guy behind him.
Yeah,
Well,
when
there
you're
are sometimes you have to go to the bank.
Agreed.
for what?
Getting like American.
No. I agree. There are sometimes you have to go to the bank. I'm curious to see what Tim thinks those times are.
Well, for example, I can't take a picture of the change I rolled and have that added to my bank account. I have to go to the bank with my rolled change, for example. You know, this newfangled thing of, I can take a picture of my check and then it'll upload into my account. Well, you can't do that with rolls and change.
Imagine having change. I just assumed you spent all your change on lottery tickets.
I'm just picturing him rolling it, like at home before he.
Oh,
goes to the bank.
rolling
I
change is a
wonder.
real minus EV move. You're a legitimate poor if you roll change.
Minus EV
Wh-
plus EV. Yeah,
Why
okay.
wouldn't you just use that change for scratch
Because
tickets?
they take a cut.
Who takes the cut?
The machines that roll them for you.
No, he said, why don't you just use it to go buy stuff at the store?
Well, I want to deposit it into my account. I spent that time rolling it. There's a satisfaction I get from rolling a certain amount of money in the change, and then I want to take that money and I want to deposit it into my bank account. I enjoy it. It's relaxing for me on a Saturday afternoon when things are quiet to put on a podcast and just roll some change if I've got a bunch. I think that you know what? I don't mind that. It might be tedious or whatever, but I find it sort of therapeutic. It's just relaxing. It's to call it a minus EV play is to denigrate that there's actual value sometimes and just
There's not.
enjoying a little task.
No.
don't enjoy
What
it,
sort of
but you
change
have
are you
weird
rolling?
tastes.
Are you rolling a bunch of nickels?
Nickels, dimes, yeah.
Oh my god. Think about the time you're wasting.
It's not a waste.
My,
if
my,
you
my,
enjoy what
my
you're doing.
time is far more valuable than that. I hate to tell you.
On a Saturday afternoon when I'm just at home relaxing, I find it to be relaxing. You don't have to do it, but you have a lot of weird preferences. We all do.
I mean, that's super weird. That's like something that my grandma wouldn't even do that because she actually uses online banking on her phone and doesn't really care about change anymore. But like my great grandmother might do something like that. Maybe.
I like to roll change, so that's something you got to take to the bank.
You don't need to take it to the bank. You can put it in one of those machines. I mean,
I
you've already wasted your own time rolling it. What's the difference if the machine takes a 10% cut?
I do not trust that one bit. I will go to the teller. Thank you kindly.
You trust the teller? They're a bunch of morons.
No, but then I'm talking to a person. Again, when it comes to banking, I'm old-fashioned. You know, if I need to go to my safe deposit box, then I go to the bank.
If you're someone who rolls change, what could you possibly have in a safety deposit box?
I got like a real like old timey watch.
Hey, he doesn't have an old-timey watch. He would have
Like,
sold it by now. He's scrounging for change.
I'm not scrounging.
It sounds like you spent all your money on lottery tickets.
I have a Quality Street tin that I throw my extra change in at the end of the day.
Where are you getting all this extra? Just stop using cash.
But what?
This comes from the thing too. Like, there's a bunch of
How
restaurants.
much change does it? Like you see X amount of change. What does it take you to roll? Like how much change is usually?
I got to
in
figure
there?
I should have at least $100 worth of change before I start rolling.
How is it? Where are you getting all this change from?
Well, it builds up over months.
Imagine not using your credit card points.
Yeah, most people don't.
Yeah, because most people are idiots, Tim. We
Why not
continuously
just
tell you you can get free stuff.
Why not just use the change?
Yeah, also that. If you're going to be paying in cash anyway,
Also,
why not
like,
just use the change?
To put it in perspective, in Canada we have like $2 coins.
Yeah, and we don't have
$1
pennies.
coins.
What am I going to do with all my dimes? Oh, not having pennies. Let's not even go down that road. But like not have like what do we do with a handful of dimes? Slam them on the table and ask for my Paul line ticket? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do. I mean, you can roll it up and give it to them. They'll take your word for it. Do you know why? Because no one wants to fucking count change.
Then dimes are tough. It's 50 of those per roll.
So there's a whole bunch, like around here, there's a whole bunch of places that don't take cash. Like it's just
Weird.
It's cardinal. It's not weird. They don't want to deal with cash.
I'm surprised that that's even legal, to be perfectly frank.
But the amount of Tims who are in there, like
I
getting
would be very
being
upset.
triggered, and
Cash is legal tender. You have no right to deny my cash.
they don't
It's
take
legal
it.
tender.
They don't take it.
You
I
don't know
cannot
if they
use
have
it at these places. So you have Tim in there freaking out. Well, they're serving like millions of people per second. Like by the time he's done his freak out, they've already served people like 8 times. You just go up, touch your card, boom, you're good to go.
I have a right to pay for things at the legal tender.
I will quote what the person from behind the counter told the man who was freaking out earlier when I got my soup. Who uses cash?
Yeah, again, what an obnoxious elitist attitude. It shows the disconnect between the real country and real, like, average everyday citizens and the urbane elites who buy their puppuccinos for their dogs at Starbucks with their Amex black card. Well, that is exactly the sorts of attitudes that annoy people like me.
You mean people who are bad at financial planning and don't take advantage of free things?
I take advantage of
You don't. If you did, you'd be using your credit card for every single purchase.
I find,
but you don't. But you don't, do you?
We're rehashing.
So you're throwing away money. Is what you're doing.
I will never purchase a $1.50.
Purchase everything. It's just purchase everything with your credit card. Tim couldn't figure out how to use PayPal.
I still don't quite.
I've had some bad.
He turned down getting money because PayPal was too complicated to sign up for.
I'll say this: I've had issues with PayPal, but once they need stuff confirmed, they're annoying. But I know.
You mean to verify who you are?
Yeah, I just had a whole thing because my addresses didn't match because it was just annoying. I get it from their end.
So it's a security thing.
Sorry, yeah, different than Tim's not knowing how to log in, sign up, get a password, hit accept, find your money, and then transfer it to your bank account.
Yeah, super easy stuff.
No, once I'm through my PayPal like hell, it's actually a fantastic
it's super
service.
efficient.
I use
great
it
for buying stuff online too.
All sorts of things.
Well, it's great protection online, so stuff's not coming from your credit card or anything like that. But you can put your credit card on it, still get them points. There's a way too that you can pay a service to pay your mortgage by credit card. That's super sneaky. That's beaucoup points. What's that?
Seems like a terrible idea. But
why is that a terrible idea? Please explain that to me.
Because you might have the money to pay off your mortgage with a credit card, but I fear too many people would not.
Oh, yeah.
It just seems like a terribly...
Also, not my problem. I can recoup... I could basically
get I'm thinking about the people.
I could basically get a free flight every 2 months by paying my mortgage by credit card.
I understand that you could, but I feel like the greater good would be served by that not being allowed.
Tim doesn't want people to have free things.
I do, but I just think that the opportunities for avarice and greed would be too great, and so I would think that perhaps.
What apps are on your phone?
Not many.
Can you look at your phone and tell us?
I have the podcast app,
which comes with it. Which ones that don't come with the iPhone do you have?
Twitter, of course, because I'm hilarious. The Score app, Snapchat.
We have another question from the audience. Yes, sir.
John would send a screen grab.
Hey, send it. Oh yeah, Tim doesn't know how to do. No. Tim, do you know how to do the screen grab of your phone yet?
I can do screen grabs of photos, but we mean screen grabs of my screen?
Yeah.
Why would I do? I guess you could. I'm not doing that.
No, send us one. Send us a screen grab of your phone right now. Text it to me, and I can tell you. I can read off the apps.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Do you know how to?
Don't worry about it. I have that snake versus block game, which I'm really good at. I have Shazam.
He just found out what Shazam was.
Well, a couple months ago.
A couple months ago, he found out about Shazam.
I have that Zoom app that doesn't work, and fantasy and weather, and that's it. That's what I got.
Weather comes with it, so you have 3 apps.
It's enough.
Good God.
Oh, and YouTube.
Which might be auto.
I don't know if it is or not. I think it's because it's a Google product, so it's probably on Android phones. He has an iPhone.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Either way, you can make your life so much more efficient.
Well, maybe, but I mean, it's about
it's like exponentially. You could cut out. I bet you I could cut out 20 wasted hours of your week, and then you'd be able to run at maximum efficiency like I do.
I'm not too concerned about maximum efficiency. I think
Why-
that's the wrong way to look at things.
No,
I think it's
you're not making the most out of what you're doing.
Well, but I think that's a very mechanical and ultimately flawed way to think about your time. I think the way you should approach it is what makes you happy, what are you comfortable doing, and at what pace do you want to move at? Not all of us want to move at SST. I mean, I think that's perhaps where we could end this little conversation, is that sometimes maximum efficiency and speed is a bad thing. I mean, the Concorde jet was the fastest and most efficient way to travel that mankind has ever devised. And we got rid of it 15 years ago, and it's never, ever coming back because we had the pace had outstripped the safety and the comfort and the intelligence of why we ought to travel the way we travel in a slower, less efficient way than we did 20 years ago when it comes to not having a Concorde jet or supersonic travel. And it's because we were just moving too fast. We're too much about efficiency of time, that sometimes you have to slow down, take a step back, and do what you're comfortable doing. And that's the way I will take it.
He's the best.
Well, he just wants everything to go back to the 1700s. He wants to live in a world. He wants to live in a world where people can still die of scurvy.
When you go to the dentist and they got to do some work, are you like, you don't want your mouth frozen? You're just like, do you have any like cocaine lying around you can just rub on my gum? Because I don't want like.
No, Tim is in an era before dental services even exist. He just lets them rot right out.
Does Tim, like, I can imagine it's like a bitter freezing night and Tim is like, screw the heat, like he's just logging a fire because because the heater, that's like too modern.
Do you think Tim could be trusted by managing a fire? Are you kidding me?
I don't know, he lives by the lake. He lives on a lake. I assume he knows how to do a fire.
No,
Isn't that
not allowed to be around fire. That would just lead to him being on fire.
I'm an indoorsman.
He's very proud of his
but the
indoorness.
fireplace like indoors.
Tim's dad once
I've helped manage and run those before.
Yeah, he's handed logs to people who have built the fire. Tim's dad tried to get him on Canada's worst handyman.
He came close too.
He almost got on. He was too bad for the show. They were like, this guy's putting it on.
Cust Corner.
Tim, I believe you have a list for us.
I do. One of the things that's been flying around the Twitters this week has been commentary about how Thanksgiving is the best holiday of all. And so I thought, well, I have a forum to weigh in. I think the best thing to do here, rather than give just a Thanksgiving-centric list, which, you could do that, but it wouldn't be as creative as giving out to enter into the zeitgeist of people talking about the greatest holidays, is to give a definitive list of the best holidays. So that's what I propose to do.
So I when I shot the notes to Tim earlier, I asked him if he had a list, and he said, "Is it Thanksgiving related?" Yes. I was like, "Why don't you just rank the best holidays?" Oh yes, I can do that. Maybe that's better.
Yeah.
Now he's passing off like.
You know what? I'm kind of intrigued.
But it has been floating around Twitter.
I'm
so when you
intrigued.
mentioned it, I was
I'm
like,
intrigued.
that makes a lot of sense. I have takes.
So Geoff is going to give his list first. Number 1, Purim.
Oh, my list. Listen, do you know why? I don't know.
Good movie. Home for Purim?
Home for Purim. You've never seen Home for Purim?
I don't know. I'm only familiar with Home for Sukkot.
So maybe at some point, maybe during the first week of Hanukkah, we can get the best Jewish holiday ranking.
It sucks.
Now, do you include Jewish holidays in a best holiday ranking list? Because it's not an official day off for most people. It's just an added day off for Jewish people.
Well, that's the thing, and I worked with Gabe and Cam. Most people who watch the show
and
would be familiar with.
me.
Well, and you, but even before we all worked together, worked with them somewhere else, and they were they brought it over to the other places we worked.
And then they got to meet me, who is, you're taking off Thanksgiving? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
We work in media. We work every day.
They were relentless on, not like mean-spirited, but like, how us Jews, we find a way to finagle many systems. And the holiday system we have down pat, because we get our own holiday offs, which everyone else will still be at work. And then because you guys are the global brand, we also get your holiday offs as well. So we've
perfectly orchestrated this plan.
Before Paul Shagg stepped in, Adam Rapkowski used to produce the show, and he had it all figured out.
I bet.
Yeah, everyone knows A-Rap. A-Rap is a good man. So what he would do is, because he didn't have a ton going on, he never went home for like...
They didn't have family and stuff in town.
So you'd just be in town. So he used to work all the holidays and get like triple pay, and then just take the regular holidays off.
Oh.
So he had it. So like it would be like we would be.
But
on
you
Christmas.
don't get triple play to work the Jewish holidays.
No, but we'd be on like Christmas. Everyone would be off because one or two people needed to be at the office to like run the station. A-Rap would go in and just work 12 hours at like super high pay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He had it figured out.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, Jewish holidays got nothing on what you guys have fun. We're boring.
There's a lot of fasting.
No.
There's one of them that's a fast.
There's one that's a fast, and then there's one where like you can't have any like leavened bread, which is pretty freaking annoying.
Does that mean that you have to have like flatbread?
It's like the matzah. It's Passover.
Okay.
Yeah, but lamb is fantastic, and you get to have that at the Passover. So
Tim's
lamb
jealous of Passover.
Any time. Anyway,
you can really have that any day you want.
And let's. I'm interested. I'm excited for this list.
All right, let's hear it, Tim.
best to worst or worst to best?
Best to worst with gaps.
Oh, and there are two gaps. So include first, New Year's Day, best day of the year, best holiday of the year. You're off, tons of football. It's a day where you don't have to go out and do anything if you don't want to, because you can recover from the night before, so you can rest. There's tons of great games on. There's no like special parties unless you go to the New Year's Eve levies. If you're that type of person, you get up early in the morning, go to the levies, and get free food and free drinks. And those are fun if you're into that. Otherwise, you stay home. You get to watch the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl. There's sometimes there's NFL games on if it's on a Sunday. It's just there's no obligations on you, and it's a day off of rest. And it's also like the day you can enjoy the holiday season, because it's like the last day. It's like the capstone of the Christmas holidays, and it's like the only real stress-free holiday day because it's all over. Best holiday of the year, no doubt.
But you got to go back to work after a nice break.
That's okay though. But this is the last day. You get to enjoy and relish this last day.
You didn't mention the Winter Classic.
Tim, the Winter Classic.
You forgot that,
Yeah. How did that slip my mind? Oops.
Number two.
The Winter Classic. Number two is Halloween.
That's not even a holiday.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You
don't get a day off for Halloween.
Oh, these have to be day off
holidays?
holidays?
Means just day off. It means holiday. Now, I'm not including like the stupid little holidays like, Cat's Day or like...
What do you have against Cat's Day?
Exactly. Or
Tim
like,
would rather drown cats than celebrate Cat's Day.
I love cats. But I'm saying I'm not including those. Anyway, so number two is Halloween because of all the best candy, and it's the fall, which is the best season. The World Series is taking place over the Halloween weekend now. So that's great. There's parties. It's fun. Halloween is number two.
Okay.
Number three is Thanksgiving. Again, it's in the fall, the best time of year. Football, food. If you're in the United States, you get the Thursday and the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday off. So you get the super long weekend. Here, you only get the Monday off, so you get a long weekend. Turkey dinner is great. Football is great. It's a great time of year. It's, there are obligations on you, but I guess one of the nice things about it for some people is that for people who aren't religious, anyway, it's not a religious holiday for them. So it's just a family holiday where you celebrate the good things that you've been given. So that's great. Number four is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a great holiday. Chance for you to say thank you to your mother if you can, and maybe take her out to dinner or buy her flowers.
I have a question. What if you don't like your mother?
Well, I mean, sure, but
then you get crappy Players Championship instead of Father's Day.
Well, that won't be the case
Open.
anymore. Now you'll get the PGA Championship.
Still prefer the U.S. Open.
Sure, and Father's Day is coming on the list. So those to me, that's the top cut. Those are the top four holidays.
How, as someone that doesn't get to experience it,
where's Christmas?
Like Christmas and things. I mean, yeah, Christmas is just the best.
No, it isn't.
Jews, it's a real thing for Jews that like envy Christmas.
I get that, and we're going to come on to it because after the gap is Easter. Easter is again great.
Easter's better than Christmas?
Easter, you get 2 days off. You get the Good Friday off, and if in some places, then we get Easter Monday off as well. Ham is better than turkey. Ham is a great meal. So a ham dinner is fantastic.
Imagine getting Easter Monday off. Come on.
Anyway,
places
ham
where
dinner
you
is
work.
great.
In the most unproductive places on earth.
You get scalloped potatoes. It's also, as a rule, the Final Four is wrapping up around then. Sometimes the Masters is taking place through Easter quite a bit. So there's a lot to recommend Easter. It's spring. It's a nice time of year. I thoroughly enjoy it. Then it's Christmas. Listen, the problem with Christmas and why we've got it ranked so low is that now we start the season in mid-November, and it just drags on until the end of December. You know, I when I was younger, I don't remember Christmas really getting into gear until like into December. Now it's definitely starting. Some places the 1st of November, other places after what we have is Remembrance Day here. It depends on where, but anyway, Christmas season just drags on too long. There's a ton of obligations, the shopping, the various family events you have to go to. It's a rushed season. I mean, it's a great time of year. Get to see people who come home or people from away. There's lots that recommend Christmas, and I get it. The food is great. The celebrations are great. But it's just so long, and it's exhausting. A lot of people by Christmas Eve are just tired out. And so like that has to matter in a ranking of lists.
All right, is there any other? You have another gap?
Oh, I have several more holidays, but no, a gap is coming in.
Okay, just fire through these.
Independence Day / Canada Day. It's in the summer, which is a terrible time of year, but it's a day off. You get to celebrate your country, so great. Labor Day, again, you get like the formal end of summer. You get the day off. It's relaxing. That's great. Father's Day, like Mother's Day, you can say thank you to your father and spend time if you're able to. Plus, the U.S. Open is on. Great time of year. And then I have Valentine's Day. Again, there's a lot to recommend Valentine's Day. There's good food too. So then there's a gap. Then there's the 4 worst holidays. You can put them in any order you want, but I'm going to put them in this order. 4th worst, St. Patrick's Day. So dumb. Million people pretending that they're Irish who aren't Irish, who drink, make noise, cause trouble, don't like it.
You mean
Bam.
have fun? People are out having fun, and that just bothers you.
That is not fun.
It's really
that
just
is just
young
rowdiness.
people, right?
Yeah, or just people who want to get loaded at noon on a Thursday, or whatever
it's
day it
rowdy,
falls on.
Rowdy, and I don't care for
something you celebrate in college.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day is fun.
No, it isn't.
Not for Tim, because people bully him when they get a few drinks into them.
April Fool's Day, stupid.
Someone got pranked a lot. Actually, for it to even make the list.
Go ahead.
No, I mean the fact that April Fool's makes the list, like it's
it's dumb, and I don't like it, and maybe I have been pranked.
That's like Cat's Day, like it's not a real thing.
What is the worst prank someone has done to you on April Fool's, Tim?
I'm going to postpone that question.
No. Answer the question. We need a reason for it to just to A, be on this list in general, but B, to be this low.
When I was younger, I once was convinced by somebody that the date was wrong, the current date was wrong, and I hadn't submitted a project that was due in school, and I had a complete freak out because I'd never missed a project before because I'm never late.
So he's a grown man, and someone was able to.
I was
tell
a grown
him
man.
that
I was like, this is like junior high.
You're old enough to comprehend the calendar and
But, like,
old enough to
multiple
write
people-
like an essay.
But like multiple people told me, no, that's not what that was yesterday. You're mistaken on the date. And I was sure, and like I skipped recess and lunch, feverishly trying to write a project and get it in, and like I got it in. And it's like there's no
I don't
due date.
understand. You couldn't check the date.
I didn't have a cell phone back in those days. I didn't know what. There's no way for me to check the date.
Even like at school, didn't the teacher write the date in like the top right-hand corner of the chalkboard?
No, I don't remember. No, and like everyone, like multiple people kept telling me that the day was it's the 2nd of April. You missed it, and I like freaked out about it, and like had to like write this project and like throw it together, and I was very unhappy. And I submitted it, and I was told, oh no, anyway, it's an awful day. Lots of people get pranked. I don't like it.
That's not even a good prank. That just makes you seem like an idiot. like, is that a good prank? Or like, who could fall for that?
Well, here's a better April Fool's Day.
Also,
prank. We have a friend who's deadly afraid of clowns, so we bought a clown costume for one of our friends and hid him in the trunk of my car. And asked my other friend to go get it out, and he almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, see,
that's a good prank.
Yeah, see, that's a prank. Tim's is like, firstly, this guy is so. I imagine his entire life he's been so diligent. So let's just say this project was due on like a Wednesday. Tim would have known on Tuesday night he was watching like the Tuesday night CBS lineup. So how could he not correlate? Do you know what I'm saying? Like I watched CSI Las Vegas last night, and that airs on Tuesday. So this is for sure Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it was just called CSI. It was in Las Vegas, but it was called CSI. Not called that. Let's get our facts straight. Anyway, second worst is New Year's Eve. Even though New Year's Day is the best, New Year's Eve is awful. It's they say it's an amateur night where people go out and drink, and it's just I don't know. It's arbitrary. They have to set up midnight for New Year's Eve. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I just don't care for it. The worst day is Earth Day. That's dead last. Absolutely dead last.
But isn't
because it's the only one with a political message that you got to turn the lights all off. It's set between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Conserve energy and all that nonsense. Like, come on. Like the Earth doesn't need a day to celebrate itself. It's not a sentient creature. It's just it just annoys me and I don't like it.
I think New Year's Eve, I would not put it near the top of the list. I definitely have it over New Year's Day as number one, which I.
No, New Year's Day is the best day of the year.
I mean, based on this list, you're just
Is
lazy.
it- hold on,
you're just
though.
lazy and want to eat candy.
there's
That's
a
what
big
this list
there's a
tells
big
me.
contradiction here, and I'm
But-
getting handsy.
but New
is
Year's-
that how could New Year's Day be New Year's Day being number one is de facto because you had such a great time on New Year's Eve and you just get to lounge all day watching sports, doing nothing, right?
I don't want to make the case that New Year's Eve is great because it's not, but it's great.
overrated.
It's great once every 4 years. That's about the ratio to great New Year's Eve
Yeah,
versus
sure.
New Year's Eve.
But my point being is, how could New Year's Day be number one if you had
if you had
didn't really
such
do
a terrible time,
Like
the
if
night
you went to
before.
bed at 10:45 on New Year's Eve, like what? Who cares about New
Well,
Year's
it's the day that Tim can hang out with everyone else when they feel like being just as lazy as him, because they're all hungover and Tim is just all gung ho to watch some bowl games.
Yeah, New Year's Day is lazy. Like you gotta just be home watching. bowl games.
Agreed. But I mean, why does that make it any different than like a Saturday?
Because it's all the best games and everybody's off and like I don't know. I just really enjoy the day. And I said it's like the capstone of the holidays.
I also
You get to-
think you lose adding even. I mean, your case for April Fool's is weird, but April Fool's Day and Earth Day
Aren't even real things.
Yeah, that's like your cat day. Like when I the Twitter's it's like grilled cheese day or some national pancake day or something.
Well, that's an
weird
actual day.
like that.
Yeah, how come
That's
how
true.
come Ash Wednesday didn't make this list?
Well, it's not a holiday. In the same way, I didn't include Memorial Day or Remembrance Day because those aren't holidays.
And
Those are
you're
days
such
to
a
commemorate the day.
versed man of the people. There's no I
Like,
don't know. There's no
Easter is the absolute nut low. By the way,
I don't agree.
Easter sucks. As someone who grew up Catholic and had to be dragged to the fucking church for sprinkling water on you, it's like 3 hours long. Go fuck yourself.
I like that.
But for
How
men,
do you like that? Is literally the longest, most boring church day of the year.
For a man-
At least where I was, people had enough of Christmas mass, so they sped it up. It's it's like half an hour. Let's go.
but for a man of the people, you didn't really include any other religions.
Yeah, of course not.
I didn't really
there's only
include
one
any
religion
religion.
to two.
I didn't include any specific religion, just
You-
public holidays.
You have
religion.
Easter,
That's a public holiday. That's why.
Christmas.
That's a public holiday.
These are religious holidays.
But they're also public government holidays. Like
Well,
if you
then,
did,
then
like,
you have to include Memorial Day. And
That's why I didn't
Veterans
include
Day.
Ash Wednesday or Shrove Tuesday. Well, no, Memorial Day and Remembrance Day are not holidays.
They are. You get
They're
them off.
dates of commemoration where we remember
We
the
don't get
dead. Not a
Remembrance
day to
Day off.
celebrate.
Yeah,
Right? It's not a day to celebrate. It's a day to be somber and remember the dead.
feel like people have big I would say Memorial Day would be near the top of this list because it's the beginning of really nice weather. People go away that weekend. It's the first
Oh,
opportunity.
it's our
to
May 2-4 weekend.
Yeah,
right?
it's
So
around
we
the same
call-
time.
yeah.
So it's an opportunity to get out of the house for the first time and go camping or go see relatives when it's nice out. You can put the summer tires back on the car. I would say that people enjoy that holiday almost more than any other.
You could be onto something.
So I know in Canada, May 2-4
Yeah.
weekend, Victoria Day, people are all about
Oh,
that.
it's big.
That,
But
people are
Victoria
gung-
Day is also not. Memorial Day
You
is their-
you have Earth Day on this list.
Yeah, but Victoria Day,
That's a
Memorial
legitimate
Day-
holiday that people get off.
Memorial Day is their Remembrance Day. It's supposed to be a solemn date of commemorating those who've died in war for their country.
I thought that was
the way
Veterans
Remembrance
Day.
is for- No, that Veterans Day is for veterans. Memorial Day is memorial to remember people who were killed, sacrificing themselves for their country. That's why I don't see it as a celebration. I see it as a somber commemoration for those who've died. Victoria Day is not that. It's a celebration of the sovereign's birthday. So that's why we celebrate it.
It does seem to me that when Memorial Day approaches, people just talk about, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to travel to go do this. It seems like an get up and atom type of holiday.
Or it's the Indy 500 weekend. Like,
No, well, stop the presses. The Indy 500 weekend. Tim just likes it because he loves milk so much.
No, I really don't like milk.
Indy 500. Why don't you fucking include the Winter Classic? Scroll back in time and put in the Winter Classic.
I'm not over how your entire class was essentially able to tell you that it was a different day.
Yeah, there was no calendar on the wall?
I don't want to get
And you wouldn't even ask the teacher.
I just panicked.
So you just like ran off like miss lunch, miss recess, and just went to the library writing like an essay.
I was like, now I think of it, it's probably like grade 3 or grade 4. Like, I mean, it was in elementary school.
Oh, now he's backing it up.
Well, I just
to try to save some face.
Yeah, it just seemed a little egregious for anyone like.
I just remember it, and I just don't remember it fondly. And like I've seen other people pull. I just think it's dumb and juvenile. Like I don't like it.
I sat on a tack on April Fool's Day, in like grade school. That hurt.
That's violent.
Yeah,
it is.
See, what would you put at number 1 on this list, Jeff?
Christmas.
Yeah, I think I would have Christmas.
But I have like Christmas envy.
I just like Christmas time. You get a couple days off. No, like everything that he's
but
talked
also
about
like
with
he's
New
like,
Year's Day.
But also like his
that's
thing of Christmas and how like extends out. Like yeah, I even as a non-Christmas person, that's annoying. But I would just sort of like to me, it's like the 18th to like the 25th, like Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm not like
it's
thinking,
like a week.
Yeah,
but people aren't like they're working like quarter days.
You know, he's talking about like commercials that
Yeah.
started like on TV or a pamphlet he got in the
Or
mail.
the Starbucks stuff that I see everywhere.
Yeah.
Or all the,
So all the stuff that triggers Tim. It's just
Except for the Juniper
it's an extra triggered time of the year.
Except for those new juniper lattes for Christmas. Those are fantastic.
And I would say New Year's Eve probably better than Halloween. Halloween parties are kind of a hassle.
No, New Year's Eve crushes Halloween in terms
That's what I'm
of
saying.
getting crunked. No, sorry, I'm pro Halloween. Oh, like in terms of the best party night, to me, Halloween's the
Really, you prefer Halloween, even at our age?
a more fun. Yeah.
I would say
Thank
when I
you.
was 20, Halloween was far more fun. Now it's not.
No, New
so
Year's
much
Eve
fun.
like sucks. It's like 1 in 4. is
Yeah,
about
1 in
right.
4. But like, how many great Halloween parties do you go to?
I just me and like my group of friends. That is sort of like, everyone's sort of around because people are away for the holidays or out of town. That's sort of like the one like real
For Halloween?
Yeah.
People are back at Halloween?
No, I mean a New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
Like
everyone's
a lot
back.
No, I have a lot of friends that are still away.
Better
Or a lot of people are still away. Halloween, everyone's sort of get crunked that weekend. It's a good time.
Cust Corner.
I bought a scratch ticket the other day for the first time in like 10 years.
How
It was one of
low
those-
are, how low
It was
are
one of
you?
those. Well, I was home by myself on Saturday night, and so I didn't have nothing
And you
to
bought
do.
a scratch ticket.
That's entertainment.
Oh man.
So yes, I bought one of those crossword puzzle scratch
rent a
tickets. where you
pay-per-view
scratch the
movie.
letter, where you reveal the letter and then you scratch off the corresponding letter in the crossword puzzles. And I didn't win, but it took like 15 or 20 minutes. And
You had
so
a
then I bought
blast?
another one on Sunday
Oh.
because it was so much fun that I wanted to play it again. And then I bought one on Monday. And so
You're Tim. You need to phone 1-800-GAMBLER due to your massive scratch ticket. Oh my God.
I have to admit,
Have you
I
won
didn't
one
buy
yet?
one. No, I haven't bought one. I haven't won on one yet.
You
No,
know what
and
he's gonna
I-
turn into? He's gonna turn to the guy who's like, "Give me 5 scratch tickets," and then he like scratches like the indicator bar out of the bottom.
yeah.
Run it through. See if I won. That's gonna be you. Next thing you're gonna be at the bar playing fucking VLTs on your lunch break.
Like I haven't bought one the last couple of days, but I was kind of thinking about buying one today. You know what? They're not the. I've spent $5 on worse. I wish I hadn't told this story.
Cust Corner.
You should buy one of those like packs that have like. Really, Tim? Back on them?
Well, one. I bought one 2 Sundays ago when I was picking up my pro lines, and I ended up winning $20 on it.
Hey,
so.
good for you. Listen, you by
he is
the way,
a pro scratch ticket player.
I want to talk about this because you cut it.
You need to cut it.
Because you cut it and you've already teased it. You are crazy when you think like your grocer's freezer is the restaurant, man.
That's in the Cust Corner.
Yeah, I saw you cut that preview clip out. Sort of tease people for Christmas Day is coming. You're nuts.
But that's how he's judging TGI Fridays, is based on their potato skins that he found at the grocery store in the what he calls the freezer section.
I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to defend Fridays. I'm not here to do that either. But
no, Fridays doesn't need to be defended. It's not good.
Yeah.
But to judge it that way seems very disingenuous.
If the food can't be replicated to the point where it can't be sent out with the same ingredients, same flavors that you heat up, if it's not good, then it's not good. I'm sorry. I think it's not a 1-for-1 comparison, but it's within spitting distance.
no, I don't think what they're serving in the restaurant has freezer burn.
Also, how did you prepare and cook the potato skins, Tim?
Don't say.
Put them in the microwave.
Oh God! And like, come on!
Well, I was hungry. I didn't have time to put them in the stove.
See, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt and ask him if he cooked them in the oven or not, which, a sensible person bringing stuff home would, which is also not how you get them at TGI Fridays. They throw them in the fucking deep fryer.
No, that's true. That's fair enough. But anyway.
Man.
They definitely don't microwave their frozen potato skins.
Well, but listen, sometimes you're in a hurry and you put your
Is
your
anyone in
potato
that
skin
big of a
or
hurry?
your nachos or your chicken wings or whatever, you put them in the microwave.
Oh,
and
no,
get it done.
no. Don't put your
Can I ask
nachos
a
in the
question?
microwave.
Yeah, that's gross too. But he always
You end up with the cheese that's not like melted on. It's like
why you
fused
always
on.
why you always seem to be in a hurry.
Yeah, we've as we discovered on this to preview that Cust Corner, Tim spends most of his time standing in lines. Because he has so much fucking free time on his hands.
Cust Corner.
Live footage of Tim at the convenience store right now. He's not buying scratch tickets anymore. Let's see what he's up to.
Stop at the shop for a loaf of bread. Spend all our money on Nevadas instead.
Cherries.
Well, I know what those are, but I don't play those.
I don't know. That was you in drag as Donnie Duffy playing the Tearaways.
Cust Corner.
No, he asked Air Canada, how many retweets do I need?
There we go.
And so they said like 500,000. And he got to like 30,000 and wasn't getting anywhere close. So Air Canada decided to include in that number the retweets of every tweet they've ever got so that they could get the retweet number up. And then they also encouraged people to send photos of their most retweeted tweets, and they would include those retweeted numbers in the kid's numbers to get him to 500,000, to get him to go see his quote-unquote girlfriend, who he's never met in his life, in a different country. And this is supposed to be somehow God's noblest act. Every part of this story is ridiculous.
It seems
convoluted. I would have just given him the ticket.
It just seems really nice.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it. I just feel like on their part, they complicated matters.
Don't make it. Then just give him the ticket and don't make some fanfare about it. This is not a.
We've talked about this so many times.
Why do you hate love?
Yeah, why do you hate love?
But also, why,
Well,
if you're
that's
that
the other
company,
problem.
would you not be in for this PR move?
How
Why
can
would
you even have a relationship with somebody you've never met? I don't understand.
That's not the part of the story, though. This is about Air Canada making a proper PR move.
And this sort of relationship happens all the time.
Yeah.
Well, but what the only person I could ever think of in one of these was Manti Te'o.
And you?
Are you upset because the Americans are taking all our good Canadian girls?
No, I just don't understand how these types of relationships flourish when they actually haven't met each other.
Well, how long have they been talking to each other?
That is unclear from this article.
Okay.
And then the global news article that has it there has embedded in the article a video of the Wendy's Nugget guy, just showing that there is a direct relationship between that cyber begging and further cyber begging. I was right about this at the time, and I don't get the credit I deserve for having been prescient about what was going to happen to our society.
It just sounds like people are happy and you're angry. That's about what's happened with society.
But what are you more angry about? Are you more angry about the cyber begging, or are you more angry about that love can't be made over a social media connection?
Again, this is why this is really the prime case of you being triggered and you being a snowflake. Because the whole thing is,
triggered.
The only thing that
Sound
you're
pretty
really
triggered.
mad about is that you're not getting free stuff.
I don't want free stuff. I'm not asking for free stuff.
Well, maybe if you did, you'd get some free stuff.
They
I
say
don't
love is
want it.
free.
I tried to be on free McDonald's.
Yeah, people tried to get you
Yeah.
free McDonald's.
Oh, that was a big moment.
I know Paul
Hey,
did.
they're just trying to get rid of filet of fish. Nobody eats them.
They sell thousands and millions of filet of fish every single day.
Seems an odd way to say that.
I know. Considering they have over 10 billion served.
You know, everyone's getting at least one fillet of fish.
It's not a very high rate.
I believe it's over 99 billion served. Isn't that what the sign says?
Yeah.
I don't know how accurate those signs are because they seem to differ from McDonald's to McDonald's.
Do you remember? Are you old enough, Gary, to remember when that used to say like 97 and 98? Like, do you remember when they got to 99?
I remember when the rollover happened. That was a big moment.
Okay, so I can't remember when that happened. I want to say it was like 95, 96, something like that.
No,
I can't remember when it
I think it was more early 2000s.
was it okay? I guess that was not long ago then.
Do we actually want to start this?
Yeah.
He's
Well,
all,
yeah, but
he's all pre-triggered.
Well, I had to get that out of my system before we actually started recording.
It's like a bullfighter walking by and just punching the bull in the face 4 or 5 times before getting in the ring.
Yeah.
Well, I'm worked up.
I got all the other grievances with you people.
I feel like this isn't good for your blood pressure.
I checked my blood pressure today at the gym. I'll let you know, and I am at 115/65.
All right, so what if you checked it right now?
I don't know. My blood pressure is optimal. You couldn't get better blood pressure from a person than what I've.
Are we gonna have to have a health test off? Because you can test your health versus my
Wasn't
health.
that basically what the NFL Combine was? Like
No,
in the
it was
grand
just-
scheme of things?
No, Pat hit one fluky field goal and he gets the count. He only got to run the 40-meter dash twice, and I had to run it 3 times, and I had to run it back to back to back.
Leaving early.
No,
To try to influence the score. And he still lost by over 2 seconds in a 40-yard dash.
It wasn't over 2 seconds, and I dispute that. Every part of what's
Well, I mean, put it this way: if I was you, I would dispute it too, because it's a really embarrassing time.
Let's just start because we're not. This is not going to be a fruitful conversation. It's just going to go round and round and round as I spout facts and you counterdict my facts.
You mean I show visual evidence of the facts being on my side?
You want to give me the full context of how I was at a disadvantage. I was wearing jeans and a button down, and you were wearing like
Paul is right. I live the truth, and you just live your truth.
Nah, that's not.
That sounds like exactly what's happening here.
Let's get this thing on. Let's get this show on the road here.
What do you think your resting heart rate is?
I don't know, 79, 78 beats per minute.
Very specific estimate.
Mine's 58.
Well, because the blood pressure machine also tells you that.
Okay.
My
I think
resting
mine
heart
was
rate is
like-
58.
I think mine was like 78 or something.
I feel like that's high.
No. As long as you're under 100, you're good. Like you can give blood safely if your resting heartbeat is 99 or below. If it's over 100, you cannot. So that's sort of like the line of demarcation.
You give a lot of blood?
Not a lot, but I do on occasion. It's a good civic thing.
Are you only in the blood giving business for the free cookies?
No, the cookies are great, and so are the juice boxes. But that's not the.
What if they gave you a juice box with a broken straw?
I demand my blood back. Like Kramer, keep it in my own bank.
Cust Corner.
You were tuned in to this Sunday show.
Fortunately, I was, because Tim continues to give a gem.
So let's I know a lot of people far more people listen and watch to this show than they do to the Sunday live show. It's only, live for 3 hours in terms of like actionable information.
Yeah.
The game's
and a lot of people also like know who they want to start
by then,
and
yeah.
they don't want to,
Although I would say it's very valuable information to know who not to take by listening to me.
No, I enjoy the show. I catch myself just tuning in, even now that you can go live and like watch it on Twitter while I'm like just
big change. That's really helped people watching the show.
Mucking around on Sunday morning before things get real serious. And I felt bad for Tim. Nothing to do with where we'll be going. But you like goad him into a bet that even though it's not an unfair bet, the bet's very fair. He's adamant about not like letting himself get goaded into bets, even if they're fair bets. He doesn't want to take part in that anymore because he's probably lost a lot of money because he makes a lot of really dumb bets, like the one, Patriots for even money to win the division. And I'll give Tim credit. I think he might have like every division right in the league, but the one he was confident the Patriots wouldn't win.
The only one he put money on.
So yeah, I felt bad for Tim because he, you bully him into making a bet that he subsequently loses. When you could tell, like, you really didn't want to, and you really just like wouldn't lay off him, and you got him, Pat.
I did.
You got
I
him.
would like to thank the Twitter mafia out there for bullying Tim into the bet. That was I think my chicken noises also helped. But the big revelation from the Sunday show was this:
Does Tim meet the minimum age requirement as a mall walker?
I mean,
There isn't an age requirement.
physically, no. Emotionally, yes.
They have a mall walking group at the mall I go to. Just
Yeah.
What is the average age of that mall walking group? Take yourself out of it.
It's an older demographic.
Over
Much like the swimming
Do
class
they
that I
think
want.
you're really cool?
Over under 70 and a half as the average
It's an
age.
older demo, like the swimming class I want to join. It's an older demo.
Yeah, he wants to aquasize body pump.
It's called Gentle Aquafit.
Oh, God. You triggered poor Paul behind the camera.
Oh my god.
Gentle body fit.
Aquafit.
Aquafit.
Oh, sorry. Jeff, did it encourage you to join Gentle Aquafit?
Sunday was a magical day. Sunday night was a magical night. But when it all ended, Gentle Aquafit might have been power ranked as my favorite thing from Sunday. And Tim is just someone, like even my buddies were messaging me, like they're like how they caught themselves just like laughing out of nowhere over the last couple of days. Cause like when they
thinking about
when they
Gentle
thought
Aquafit?
about it. And I'm like, Tim's just the best. Because he's so harmless and innocent, but it's so freaking funny. Because all the guy wants to do is, do some water aerobics. But there's no good way to water aerobics in the middle of a weekday afternoon. You're going to be with
90-year-old.
Yeah.
Who might be in better shape than you. Who knows?
no
You got Jack
other way
LaLanne in
around
there.
it.
I don't even know. So the third member of the team, the guy who was in first place in making the picks, the coin. Always tail the coin. It had a rough few weeks, but now it's pulled back into the lead. And we'll get to that in a second. Let's introduce the fourth member of the show, the advocate for Gentle Aquafit. It is Tim Andercust.
Tim Andercust.
That is not my name.
Heard it was.
No, you didn't.
I did. Everyone says it to me all the time.
I don't think everyone says anything to you all the time.
All the time.
I don't believe you.
If you ever left your house, unless it was going to Gentle Aquafit, because those people can't watch things on the internet, Tim.
As I said on the show,
they don't know who you are.
Yeah, they don't know who he is.
I said on the show, I'm looking into joining it. I haven't actually joined because the times don't greatly match up with my schedule, but I want to join.
So what time does Gentle Aquafit start? I mean, for the people that are going, I'm guessing like 7 a.m.?
No, they don't do like rush hour.
No, it's like mid-morning during the week.
It's like 10:30. And then
But, it's not
they probably have
a competitive thing, right? It's just a time where, like, win or lose, I'm just happy with the hustle and the heart that everyone puts out there in the pool.
It's not even funny. He's just an idiot.
Okay.
Like he tries to I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because okay. He wants to get out of Gentle Aquafit by going there, and he made me laugh.
When we stop doing our Sunday live shows at 10 a.m., so Tim is not required to be on them, then he can start doing Gentle Aquafit. There's your solution.
I mean, for like the 7 people that know what that joke was about, just that's sort of an inside joke. If you weren't following Twitter.com,
no, it's in my notes.
We'll get to that.
I assumed it was. So I wanted to jump the queue on you.
We have a lot of time to throw it off track this week.
I don't want to leave Gentle Aquafit. Now, does anyone from your mall walk group, are they in Gentle Aquafit? Is that where you heard about it from?
No, I was researching various classes that I could take at this new fitness center I've joined, and I saw that and thought that would be interesting. I'm trying to find a way to fit it into my schedule because I want to start slow and then work up.
You think there'd be like listen, I'm not besmirching anybody trying to get in shape, and water aerobics they say is like actually very good.
Yeah.
And with all these like
who's they?
No, it's just like a very like I think that's like a well documented fact.
I think like swimming is. I think there's a reason 90-year-olds do the water aerobics.
I don't know. I think like walking in the water, like I don't know. I think for like 5 minutes walking in the water in those like types of pools is like probably the equivalent of like maybe triple that on land. I could be wrong.
Are we sure it's not Gentile Aquafit just designed to keep Jeff out?
Oh, but wouldn't it be equally as funny if Tim was in like some like new age hipster millennial like Aquafit
That
class?
sounds more like him based on everything else he's doing these days. Living in a loft, getting these like super weird lattes that we looked into have like, what is it, like 60 grams of sugar, Tim?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the big ones do. I just get the regular tall size.
I've never seen you get a regular size anything.
Well, with a latte though, it's just too much if you have that big of one. I like the small size you get at Starbucks.
Okay,
It's called a juniper latte, and it's got sage in it and juniper sugar. And it's lit.
There we go. He's using words like lit all of a sudden. He calls his mentions menchies on Twitter.
I heard that on Sunday's really like.
It's really off the rails.
I'm gonna start tuning in more because I tuned in last week and there were like 4 gems.
Cust Corner.
I'm Tim Andercust. You would actually know the different octaves, wouldn't you?
Yeah, altos and sopranos and that kind of stuff, and baritones.
You're a big opera guy, aren't you?
Well, I watch a lot of Jeopardy, you see.
You do, but I feel like you knew about the opera, and that made you good at Jeopardy.
Sure.
I don't think you learned about the opera from Jeopardy.
No, well, no, of course not. But yeah, I get a lot of chance for muscle memory to remember it by watching Jeopardy.
All right, you can.
Opera's great.
Opera's what?
Opera's great.
Well,
it's about being cultured.
You should go more. They dress.
I should go more.
They all dress like the Monopoly Man, and you're all in on that.
Wouldn't you say opera's elitist?
As he should, but he likes it, so it's not.
But but when he likes it, it's the people's music.
It's a finer thing without being like terribly elite. That's the way I look at it.
It's a pretty elite thing, Tim. When Frasier wants to go have fun, what does he do?
Exactly.
I don't care. I don't think it's that elite. I like it.
I don't think opera's
if I didn't like it, if I like it, it can't be elite.
So like Sanchez? So this is full circle?
All right, I think we've hit our we've hit our end here.
Oh no, I'm bringing this full circle. So if you like it, it can't be elite. Sanchez can't be elite. Boom. Problem solved.
Well played.
Problem solved. Got to the core of that one, my friend. Pat Mayo, you can follow me at the PME on Twitter if you want to hit the cheat sheet, hit the description. All the other shows are up there. And please, we're closing in on 10 million. Believe it or not. Downloads and audio listens for the year. If you just watch this on YouTube, please go subscribe to that, download it, even if you don't listen. And then you can go download it again. And that counts as 2. It'd be amazing if we got to 10 million downloads for 1 year of the Pat Mayo Experience. What are you laughing about, you maniac?
I was thinking
What did you say that was
about
funny?
Mr. Peanut at the opera. With the opera glasses. Top hat. Hey, down in front.
He's lost it. You completely fucking lost it.
Wow. Oh, you're the best.
10 million downloads.
And the worst.
People listen to this shit. It's unbelievable. They can't get enough. It's like heroin. You do enough, you get hopped up on goofballs, and you end up like fucking Tim here. Laughing his ass off. Crying in the shower, farting in bathtubs, and laughing his ass off. Hey, Tim.
Yes.
Kiss me, Timbers!
How's that sick cough coming for you?
Just a cough. People cough. Whew. Man, that was funny. I haven't laughed like that in a while.
Are you gonna consider that a workout for the day?
Yes.
I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
I'm trying to imagine him like getting into the opera seat, but he can't because he doesn't have a waist. So he's just sliding out of the seat.
I know him. Oh.
Does it shock you that he doesn't do drugs?
Oh God. He's still going.
He's gonna be live in studio on Sunday.
I'm sorry, it's just the mental image of Mr. Peanut at the opera broke me like a lane with the Pez dispenser. I can't help it.
He's literally like a combination of like an infant and a senior. Right?
When you got Pabs, it's tough.
Oh God.
Don't call it crazy, Tim. What you can call it is
Has anyone ever laughed at Mr. Peanut? Like...
Somebody burp him.
Watch out! Mr. Peanut went down the wrong tube for him. He got cracked off halfway.
I don't even know why I thought. Did you mention Mr. Peanut like in opera gear?
No. Do you think this is why people question your sanity?
Well, maybe you said the Monopoly Man, not Mr. Peanut.
I did say the Monopoly Man.
I'll say when you said that, I thought of the Planters Peanut guy, and then imagined him walking around.
How dare you throw such shade at rich Uncle Pennybags?
Well, he also has
what's his first? If you know so much about him, what's his first name? What's his first name?
Charles?
No, Milburn.
Milburn Pennybags?
Yes.
I do.
You're pure Baltic Avenue.
I feel.
Where I am clearly Tennessee Avenue, or St. James Place.
I feel like Baltic Avenue is the property of the people, Tim.
Now, I think that actually the property of the people is the orange property because it's landed on the most. It's the most popular. That makes it the property of the people.
Now, yeah, the people just in general are kind of low, so maybe they're not Baltic or Mediterranean. Maybe they're like Oriental.
Or the utilities.
You are sort of a utility. You could be the waterworks, most definitely.
The utilities are such a scam.
If there was one, but I actually think that like if you had one monopoly property to describe you, what do you think it would be? I would give you waterworks or luxury tax.
Free parking?
I mean, you wish you were free parking. This teaser is not going to turn out well for you, by the way.
We'll see about that.
How great is it going to be when Buffalo screws you?
Well, I can yell at you in person for bullying me into taking it.
Yeah, listen, we don't force you to do anything. You're just very...
No, nobody compels me.
You're very susceptible to suggestion.
I like to think I'm pretty impervious to it.
Yeah, you know what? I would say that that is results-based analysis. If people go and watch all the shows, they would also come to that same sane conclusion.
Wow. That's the loudest and hardest I've laughed in quite a while. I don't know why that was funny, but it was.
Farting in bathtubs and Mr. Peanut at the opera, making you laugh.
Like, just imagine, right, wearing like the full tuxedo with the big top hat, like obscuring people's views, and he can't get in the seat because he doesn't have a waist, and it just would be a very unfortunate experience for him.
It's not a commercial. He's just making this up in his head. This is just what he's imagining what would happen with Mr. Peanut at the opera. This isn't like a thing.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, hee hee.